Christ, Beth, be a smart woman, would ya? Wait, actually, first, we gotta do this. Come on, I said. I said play it. Why do you hate me, Minifeed? Why do you hate me? Why do you hate me? Alright. Let's start with this. Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? I hope that you have all had a lovely night. My night was crappy, but I'm here. I'm alive. And I'm ready to talk about Trump, because apparently I hate my fucking life, and this is what we're doing today. This morning, first thing in the morning, barely slept, but sure, we'll talk about this. So this is actually something that's been going on for a few years, if you're unaware. Trump has run this. Why isn't that playing? Hold on. This is driving me nuts. There we go. Oh, why is it underneath there? Why are you underneath? See? Yeah, editing occurring. Oh. Alright, you're pissing me off, alert box. You're pissing me off right now, you know. So this is how you edit your Streamlabs, if anyone's wondering. For anyone out there that may be streaming. I hate this. I hate Streamlabs. I hate OBS Studios. I hate everything about all of this. I just hate them all. The end. Okay, come on now. Come on. Okay. We wanted to bring it just down just a little bit, baby. Just down just a little bit. Okay. Alright. Let's try that again. Yeah. Jody Peterson just subscribed. Thank you, Jody. Alright. So, now that we've got that out of the way. I know that this is probably not like the biggest either. And I apologize. I'll try and make it a bit bigger just in case you're on your phone for this lovely, awful live stream. So I hope everyone can hear me okay. Apparently I like to sound like a robot on here sometimes. That's just my OBS Studios. It hates me, like everyone else on the internet. So, Trump's biggest side hustle outside of Apprentice is multi-level marketing schemes. If you were unaware, Trump is very big into MLMs. It is what he does besides The Apprentice. It's how he has made a lot of his money. And, well, the last few years, he and his 3 sons have been having some issues due to how they ran set MLM. And I thought it would be fun because I was going to do this like last week and then just didn't. So we're doing it today, right now, while I wait for my family to wake up now. Because what time is it here? It's like 6, yeah. So I'm usually up at this time. This is usually when I wake up for my day and get some work done. So I was like, you know what? I'm trying to stream. Not doing a very good job of it, but I'm trying. And so let's just do this. You know, remember when I did the Tom Brooks stream and I didn't know how to stream, but it ended up being okay? I'm hoping something like that happens. So basically, Trump and his 3 sons have been facing a lot of issues due to this, and we got an update at the end of September. And since then, I have been looking into the company, and honestly, I don't usually use Wikipedia, But I gotta say that when it came to this company right now, it was the best site that had the most information in one place. So we're going to go through that today. I know Wikipedia isn't always the best source, I'm very aware. However, please do know that I did double check a lot of the information on this Wikipedia just to make sure, because in order to provide you with all of the information, I would have had to have gone to like 50 different web pages, and we just weren't doing that. So I was like, you know what? Wikipedia is actually telling the truth this time with the whole thing, which they do sometimes. So we'll just use the Wikipedia page because, you know, for once it's not completely failing me as a source, because I am very, very particular about sources like this. Especially like Wikipedia and stuff is just like, nah, sis. But this one was decent. I always double check to make sure that that information's like correct. So I went through it. It's a decent one. So getting started. For those of you who do not know me, hello, my name is Beth, or Queen of Spade. Please do give this video a like, subscribe if you're new, come follow on social media. I sound like a streamer, and I fucking hate it right now. Like, I don't have a donate button, thank God. I'll probably never put up a donate button. It's just, I don't know if I want to. But I have a Patreon, and once I get a few more people in there, I want to start doing streams and stuff in there. Because it's only like one person and my husband right now. So that won't be fun. Because, you know, I'm so famous. So basically, yeah, let's just get right into this. We'll just read through this. I'm not really looking forward to it. It's a lot of information, and I'm not Trump's biggest fan. I mean, you could have had a worse president than Hillary, but, you know, not my country. It's still my problem, though. But we won't get into politics today, other than what we need to. So, President Trump made over $11 million endorsing two multi-level marketing companies in the 2000s for which he and his children would later be sued for fraud, according to the New York Times, which revealed for the first time how much money the future president received for hawking the MLMs, and that those two endorsements were his most lucrative side deals during his height of fame from The Apprentice, which, I mean, is that surprising? I'm not surprised by it at all. And we got some key facts. I like key facts. It makes my reading very easy. So it says, after dropping the bombshell of Trump's tax returns on Sunday, revealing Trump paid $750 in taxes during his first 2 years in the White House, the Times followed up Monday, revealing The Apprentice gave Trump a $427 million lifeline after his Atlantic City casinos failed. So, for those that don't know, Trump opened up a line of casinos in Atlantic City. Oh, wow, right? And then they failed. They just didn't work out. So he's failed in business. He's not someone that's just always done well. But I mean, to be fair, you usually have to fail at one or two before you're successful, and that's not in an MLM way. That's usually, there's a lot of people that are very legitimate business people that have failed a business or two before they find the business that is legit and, you know, good for them to run. So that doesn't really necessarily mean anything bad. Just throwing that out there. But you do have to laugh a little bit at the fact that it's Donald Trump and he failed at running casinos. I mean, the man's in love with money. You would think he would be able to run some casinos, but I digress. The Times also exhaustively detailed Trump's countless side deals, flogging everything from laundry detergent to Domino's Pizza, but the MLM endorsements by far netted Trump the most cash. Now, I wonder why that would be. Why would that be that somebody running an MLM would make the most money in their MLM out of any other jobs ever? Is that because the MLM is literally the only job that MLM has is to make this man money? Nobody else money, just him. Trump's most lucrative deal, $8.8 million over a decade, was for promoting ACN, an MLM whose members sold telecom equipment and services on DVDs of its products and through testimonials, with some alleging in a 2018 class action lawsuit that Trump misled them by claiming ACN was a great opportunity and lower in risk. Now that sounds like almost all the other MLMs have gone for a class action lawsuit for something similar. Trump nabbed another $2.6 million licensing his name to the Trump Network, another MLM that sold vitamins before the company sold its remaining assets in 2011, with the owners declaring bankruptcy. A lot of people forget about this. I don't think a lot of people that know about the Trump Network have actually put it together that it was a vitamin MLM that then had to declare bankruptcy. I don't know, it's a story we should maybe tell more out here. I think it's an interesting one. Let me know if you want me to tell it. Maybe I'll do a video on that just alone. The Trump Network is also part of the 2018 lawsuit, which is still making its way through court after a Manhattan judge ruled in June 2019 that the 4 plaintiffs could pursue claims of fraud, false advertising, and unfair competition. Now, can we just take a moment, just one little moment, and let's just talk about that, just for a second. So claims of fraud, false advertising, and unfair competition is basically what an MLM is. So they all do the false advertising. They're all oversaturated, and basically you're promised a lot that you don't get. Like an income. The plaintiffs in the class action lawsuit said they suffered financial losses during their involvement with both MLMs, and the judge allowed the suit to proceed in May after the Trumps moved for the case to be suspended, but they will appeal the decision, of course, because, why the hell wouldn't they? They're gonna make it go through court for as long as they possibly can. Because that's how this works. It's just how it works. So, it's going to be happening. Sorry, guys, I just want to check my things out quickly here. I think we're all good. So, it's making me laugh a little bit. Because you know he's doing that on purpose. You know that he took this through court for 3 fucking years. When it didn't have to go through court for 3 years. He's just being an asshole, Just being an asshole. Appeals. Move for suspended case. Just doing everything that he possibly can to make it last longer and keep going. Trump promoted an ACN video phone in a 2011 episode of Celebrity Apprentice. According to the Times, the video phone's technology was nearly obsolete when the episode aired. Yeah, so it would have been a really cool thing. Everyone would have been like, oh my god, I really want to get that phone. And no, don't get that phone. Don't get that phone. Trump's tax returns reveal just how much ACN was paying him for the happy talk. Let's see now. $8.8 million over 10 years, including $1 million in 2009, which was during the Great Recession, and desperate people were drawn to promises of a fast payday. So basically they're like, listen, he used the Great Recession to make this $1 million in 2009. And that's coming from the Times again. Mr. Trump actively capitalized on the economic anxiety. Exactly. That's what he did. I mean, could you expect anything less from him, though? I mean, really, though. Really. Alright, so now we're going to get into the lovely little... I like this part. This is my favorite part of the whole article because it explains MLMs to us quick. So, they got a little bit of numbers wrong here, though. We'll talk about that in a moment. It's notoriously difficult to succeed as a distributor in an MLM. Generating income is dependent on selling the MLM's products, but also on recruiting new sellers into the organization. MLMs are often referred to as pyramid schemes, although the Federal Trade Commission has no hard definition for what constitutes a pyramid scheme. They do, though. They do. I've shared it on my channel before. Anyway, a 2018 AARP study found that nearly 75% of MLM distributors either lost money or broke even. According to the Times, French regulators found that 1% of ACN participants actually made money, while the rest earned about $35 per month or broke even. The class action lawsuit also names Eric Trump, Ivanka Trump, and Donald Trump Jr. So, basically, if you're in an MLM, the Federal Trade Commission did a study, and I've shown it a million times on this channel, but it's everywhere. They did a study where they incorporated basically all the MLMs to figure out what people were making. And they discovered that 99.6 do not make any money at all. None. So over 99% of people do not make money in MLMs and are lucky to break even. And 0.4% of people, not even 1%, not even a whole 1%, will be successful in the companies. And that 1% is basically, in this case, the Trumps. That's it. Maybe they have a few people underneath them that might make some. And then nobody else is making money. That's how they work. They're pyramid schemes with a product loophole. It's the new pyramid scheme. And people don't realize because they are promised financial freedom from their living room while taking care of their children. It sounds like a beautiful life. It really does. But it's not worth going broke for. Especially when it's set up for you to fail. And people have lost houses, marriages, their entire lives' savings over these companies and the false promises that they make. Which is why we do these videos. Trump pocketed $300,000 to speak at a 2004 real estate seminar in Dayton, Ohio for a company that was later accused of running a Ponzi scheme. Like, there you go, right? So it's like not that far off. I mean, it's really not. It, it's not. Okay, it's not that far off from a Ponzi scheme. So what is ACN? I mean, that would be the next question here, right? Is what about this company and what's going on with this? So the update is basically that it's come out that Trump has made bank on this MLM and that he's being a jerk in court, and they're just continuously moving the court dates. And basically where they're at with it is they know what he's made from it. They've broken that down, and they're just trying to figure out, like, is it going to be fraud? So they're allowed to pursue it, as it says here. So they're doing a class action lawsuit on him, and they are pursuing him for fraud, false advertising, unfair competition, and he's just, he's trying to suspend the case, he's appealing the decision, and he's fighting it any way he can, and it's been a few years now, because it started in 2018, right? So we're going on 2021 soon here, like this, So, I mean, it's a long-going civil case, and it can be. Usually the MLMs want to get them shut up and dealt with as soon as possible so that they can go back to their teams and tell them that nothing happened, like Monate does. Fucking Monate. Anyway, but apparently Trump and his family are like, no, let's just go to court for like 3 years. It'll be grand. We'll just keep moving along. So I just am wondering if anyone has even heard of ACN before, because I had. I didn't realize it, but I knew what it was, because I recognized this symbol, the logo. See, that works. Having a logo works, because I recognize their logo. I was like, I know that logo. Seen that logo. Definitely know about this company. Didn't realize it was Trump's until like a couple years ago. Anyway, so obviously it's based in North America. I don't know. That's about the only thing that pisses me off about this article, is that it's a North American based, like, they're all North American based. I'm sorry, but people in Uganda are not opening up MLMs. Like, it's just not happening. They're not making MLM companies to promote products to people. So it tends to just be in the US, the UK, and Canada, sis. That's the only places where they tend to pop up, and then they try to expand to other places because they're kind of realizing right now that people are getting smart in Western society over here in America. And the UK, we're just so smart, and we know not to join them anymore. So they're like, okay, let's go to China. Let's go to India. Let's start spreading all over the world so that we can go and get unsuspecting people that don't have the resources to be able to look up all these YouTube videos necessarily, or have the information necessary to know that these are what they are, because they can trick you very easily, and they do. So it's not scared. Like, it's not weird to be scared about the fact that they're going to like third world countries or other countries. It's like, why are you going into almost like third? Listen, some of these companies are opening up in third world countries right now, and I don't know why. I'm like, do you think that they have the money to give you to join like a $99 starter kit? Do you think that that's... But anyway, again, not my business. Literally, it's not my company, so I don't have to worry that much about it. But it's a scary thought. So they provided telecommunication, energy, and merchant services and other services. So basically they were like, I guess you could say like almost, oh, I want to say almost like a phone company. Like they sold phones and stuff like that, but they did all telecommunication. It's hard to explain, but basically, yeah, they started in 1993. So, and oh my God, for fuck's sakes. It's still going. 27 countries. So there you go. See, 20, like, what 27 countries do you need to be in? There's 27 countries that would buy into this? No. Okay, no. That head exploded. That's what I mean, though. I'm like, okay, you want to try and take over the US and Canada and the UK, that's one thing. But then when you start moving over to, like, some of these third world countries, I gotta be like, what are you doing? Like, who are you trying to rip off? In 2018, a class action lawsuit was filed against Donald Trump and 3 of his children, alleging fraud, false advertising, unfair competition, and a now dismissed allegation of racketeering for their involvement with ACN. And it has been ongoing as of April 2020. So basically, like what we just read in 2019, they had to go to the court basically and say, listen, we want to do this lawsuit on this company and him for these reasons. And the court heard the case and said, actually, you might be able to, you got something there. You got something. So they were like, okay, yeah, go ahead with the lawsuit. And like I said, it's just been running around in circles ever since. And the update is basically that, letting us know why it's been running around in circles ever since. They're like, oh, he keeps pushing it and suspending it and all this, pulling a Trump, basically. So, of course, it's based in Concord, North Carolina. And now, here we go. This is where I'm like, oh, fuck. This is why I know what it is. ACN has international offices located in Montreal, Canada. And then I was like, oh, yeah, they do. Legit. That's exactly where I would have seen it. Yeah, that would be it. Amsterdam, the Netherlands. For those that don't know, I'm in Ottawa. My whole family grew up was from Montreal. And so I've spent half my life in Montreal. So I most certainly would have seen this when I was like, because I was like, where did I see this before? Like, are they even in Canada? And then I was like, Montreal. Oh, well, yeah, no, that would explain why it was familiar. Okay. And then look at this. So Sydney, Australia. Okay. Poland, Sweden, South Korea, and Mexico. Now, I've been to Mexico. Okay, Mexico is a beautiful place, many places, but I am going to say, the people in Mexico don't have the money to afford to be able to go into an MLM company, especially like a US based one that would then expect them to pay in US dollars. Like, I'm not trying to sound rude or anything, but I went there for my honeymoon, and I mean, they would get tipped $1 because my dad and my husband, they tip everyone. So you bring them a bag, you bring them a drink, you're getting a decent tip. And in Mexico, like, I just remember the first time my dad went to tip someone, he gave them $1 and their like face lit up. They're like, oh my God, this is like a whole day's work for me. Like they live on tips at the resorts and places like that. Like, that's their best way to work there, is if you're living in Mexico, you work at a place where you can get tips from the tourists. It's your best bet to survive, basically. Because honestly, there's not a lot there. I mean, you could have a decent little life, but it is a little bit more poor than, the US and Canada and the UK. So I'm like, who is going to be like signing up there? Like who are you signing up in Mexico? Like, for real though. I mean, no offense, but I was going through Mexico and there were some places, guys, where they're literally living in huts. Like, they don't have actual houses. They live in a dirt hut with grass as their roof. And then this company wants to go and do what? Take their money? Why? Like, it's just shit. It's just shit. And, like, same with the rest of the places, like South Korea, even. It's just like, why? Why? So they're in income disclosure statement bears the warning that not all ACN independent representatives make a profit and no one can be guaranteed success as an ACN independent representative. It's the same thing on every single income disclosure statement. It's a legality that they have to put on there now. There was a time when MLMs did not have to put this on there, and they were allowed to just go around and tell you that you could make $500 a month working for them, and that you definitely would. And finally, they started to get sued because people were like, I was promised I was going to make $500 a month, and I made 10. What the hell, Karen? And so, you know, the law and the FTC and all of the business places kind of got together. They're like, all right, what are we going to do to make it so that, you know, these false income claims don't get made to people? And this is basically what they came up with, was that they would have to have an income disclosure statement on their website. So if you are ever looking at an MLM company website and there isn't one, you can report them for it. Look up where, because, okay, here's the other thing, though. I found this out, because this is confusing as hell to me, but it's every 2 years, for the most part, that they have to post one on. And then I've heard that in some other places, it's every year that they have to provide one. But let's just say, no matter what, an income disclosure statement has to be on there. Whether it's one from 2 years ago or last year, they have to have it on there. And they have to update, I believe, like every 2 years, like minimum. Like, it would be nice if they would post one every year, but they usually don't, right? Because, like, why would they admit that nobody makes money every single year when they can just admit that bi-yearly, right? So they were like, yeah, put on an income disclosure statement, but then also on that statement, you have to be sure to tell, you know, everyone that that doesn't mean you'll be making this money. You know, it's not represents everyone. It depends on you, which then opened up the doors, of course, for the Huns to then start that whole, it all depends on you, how hard you work, and all those lovely rhetorics that they throw out into the world that really don't fucking mean anything. They're just all ways to manipulate you into thinking you're joining this great business. So now they have to do that. So the funny thing is, sometimes I read like these articles and they put them in there like it's a bonus. It's a good thing that the company did. Like, they're like, don't worry, ACN's income disclosure statement does have this warning. And I'm like, yeah, they kind of have to. Like, by law. It's not really like a great, like, oh good, they did it. It's like, no, you gotta do it or else I'm gonna report you and you can get in trouble, like, kind of thing. Like, anyway. that was a nice little rant about income disclosure statements and how they were formed, and then, well, the rest. Give me a break, okay? First coffee of the day now. So in 1993, and I'm going to butcher these names because, like, I am the worst person at reading names. Robert Stevanovsky, that one I know, so I can't even pretend like I didn't already know that one. It's the rest of them we're worrying about now. Craig Provenzano, and twin brothers Tony and Mike Cupiz, like, what kind of word has an S and a Z, right? Like, I'm sorry, but how do I say this? Help me out here. Founded the American Communications Network, Inc. So, like, obviously that's what ACN stands for. It stands for American Communications Network. And it was opened for business in January 1993 with 20 initial independent representatives. I'm sorry I started laughing here because in my mind, as I was reading that, I thought in my mind, and those are the 20 people that made money. And that was it. I couldn't help it. I was like, oh, there's the 1% right there. ACN's initial business was as a marketing arm for a long-distance reseller called LCI Communications. That might also be familiar to some of you. This relationship lasted for 5 years until LCI was acquired by Quest Communications. Again, another one that may be familiar to you. By 1998, ACN was listed in Inc. magazine's Inc. 500 list as number 22 in this annual list of the 500 fastest growing private companies in America. I'm just going to say, I wish that these fucking magazines would stop putting MLM companies in that. Don't do it. Stop it. Stop it. They're the fastest growing scams in America. Like, what do you mean, private company? Jesus Christ. That's why it drives me nuts. I'm like, that's not, don't call it that. I have a lot of friends that run real private companies, and they'll be insulted if you start calling the MLMs private companies. Let me tell you, this is my friends that are selling stuff that they make out of their home now. That's a private company. You people selling a $8 million corporation stuff is like. Because the thing is that if they just called themselves a private company, like right from the top, that would be one thing. But they use this too, right? To like tell the Huns, like, you've got your own private company when you're working at home. And it's like, that's not what this is. And it shouldn't be on any lists, in any magazines, being celebrated in any way. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. I just think, these scams should not end up in any type of business magazine whatsoever. ACN operated as a gas and electricity retailer through the subsidiaries ACN Energy and ACN Utility Services, prior to its energy assets being acquired by Commerce Energy Group in 2006, which, again, you'll probably recognize that one. That one for sure is like the one that would be everywhere right now. So you probably, that's probably the one being used where you are right now. In 2008, ACN moved its headquarters from Farmington Hills, Michigan to Concord, North Carolina. I was wondering about that. That was a little bit confusing to me, I do have to say, because when I'm looking into this, it's like one place that says it started in Michigan, and the other place that was like North Carolina, Trump started it. I was like, listen, North Carolina and Michigan are not the same place. Gotta figure this out. So that's why I said this article was just the best one for the Wikipedia, because when I was trying to find this in other articles, that was confusing to me. So yeah, when I kind of like went through this, I was like, okay, well, at least they're explaining it here, because I just went and read something somewhere else, and that part, it made no sense. They didn't know where it was from. So in 2014, ACN expanded operations to Latin America, beginning first with Mexico. And why do they do that? Because it's very easy to take advantage of people in other countries, is legit what it is. And that's why it angers me. Like I said, people in other countries don't deserve this. Leave their countries alone. They're free without MLMs. Don't do that to them. Like, I want to apologize to Mexico. I want to apologize to Mexico and Japan and the other 26 countries and 5 continents that ACN has been operating in. By 2019, all 26 countries and 5 continents, yeah. Oh, Lord. Isn't that wonderful? That's just, it makes your head explode, doesn't it? It's like, that is how many countries are now being ripped off by this company. That many countries, think of that many people. There's always at least 18 million people only in the USA alone in MLM companies. So when people tell me, I get this sometimes in comments on my videos, people will be like, Why are you like talking about MLMs? Like, it's not that big of an issue in our world. Like, it doesn't even have anything to do with like government or like anything. Like, it's just moms at home selling Scentsy. Like, why are you so upset over it? And I'm like, um, because of this? Because if it was just moms in Western society, suburban moms that had the money where they could maybe go spend a few $1,000s and miss out on it, only that were signing up for these, that would be one thing. That would be one thing. You know, if it was only rich people signing up for these, I wouldn't care. The issue is that they go to places like Mexico and they promise people in Mexico that they're going to make them rich, and they're not. And like I said, the people in Mexico are already struggling, so it's like, leave them in the hell alone. The last thing they need is a bunch of MLMs there. Like, for real, though. From 2006 until he announced his presidential candidacy in 2015, ACN had a business relationship with former The Apprentice executive producer Donald Trump. Donaldy Trumpies. Trump spoke at ACN events, or I'll just like randomly break out into random accents throughout my reading, just out of nowhere, because welcome to being a fucking actress. I don't know. Trump spoke at ACN events, featured their products on an episode of The Apprentice, and took part in ACN promotional videos, which is a little like... Following the official beginning of his 2016 presidential candidacy, all references to Donald Trump were removed from the ACN website, and Trump distanced himself from the company in an interview with the Wall Street Journal. I know nothing about the company other than the people who run the company, Trump told them. I'm not familiar with what they do or how they go about it, and I make that clear in my speeches. Grab him by the pussy. No, I'm just joking. He didn't say that. ACN offers landline telephone service, local and long distance. So yeah, see, it's a service provider. Telecommunications service providers. So you got the internet, you got the telephones, you got like any other kind of telecommunications they might need. I seem to remember, maybe this is just like my memory being fucked up, but I seem to remember them having their hands in a lot of like the work stuff when, you know, workplaces were going into telecommunications, where they were starting to do everything with the computers and kind of like switching over. You know what I mean? I seem to remember them having a really large hand in that. Because, like, I've fucking seen them everywhere. And, yeah. So, they have the landline, local long distance, because, you know, you gotta be able to call Mexico to be able to call that downline of yours. Voice over Internet Protocol, VoIP, high-speed internet, satellite television, cellular phone through the company's own mobile virtual network operator. So yeah, basically they are like a Bell Canada or a TELUS, I guess, or I don't know what you use in the States or elsewhere, but here it's basically Bell Canada that runs your phone lines. Actually, all the other companies here have to like rent the phone lines from Bell Canada because they were like the ones that installed them. Fun fact from someone that used to work at Bell. They own all the phone lines in Canada. So whenever another company actually needs to use phone lines, they actually have to pay Bell. It's kind of funny. So they're kind of like I'm assuming they were trying to be like the Bell of the States. Flash Wireless take over it in Montreal too, I guess, too, right? Which didn't work out too well. Flash wireless and home security services primarily to consumers and secondarily to small businesses. Yeah, so I was like, I really do remember them being all over businesses. Beginning in 2011, ACN also began offering an ACN branded international calling smartphone app available for iPhone, Android, and Symbian, reselling WiMAX wireless internet and technical support service for personal and business computers, as well as getting back into the energy reselling market through partner Zoom Energy? Energy? Oh, fuck. Like, what is that word supposed to be, right? Like, Zoom? Zoom! I don't fucking know. XOLM. With variations depending upon the country of operation, provision of ACN services follow 3 models. Alright, so this is the important part of this, other than, of course, the legal cases, which we'll get to in a minute. But, sorry guys, this is basically what, how they run. What is it that ACN does fully in 3 steps? Everything. The reselling of ACN branded services ultimately originating in an incumbent provider. This is exemplified by local and long-distance telephone, where ACN buys local telephone service, right, from an incumbent provider such as Qwest or AT&T. So I guess, I'm assuming in the US that it's Qwest or AT&T. That's your guys' Bell. Like here in Canada, it would be basically what I just said with Bell, right? And bills customers in its own name. So it's kind of like a third-party company that helps provide you with services. When you maybe can't get them from Qwest or AT&T directly, you can call ACN and they'll get it for you. This model was made possible by telephone industry deregulation beginning in 1996. Prior to this, ACN was involved solely in reselling long-distance telephone service. It was the expansion of deregulation internationally that made it possible for ACN to begin to operate outside the United States. So, fuck you, telephone industry deregulation. Like, what why are you screwing us over like this? Like, get that back in gear so we can stop this from happening. Like I said, like, Mexico does not want them. Acting as a sales agent for the service provider, where an ACN representative sells the service, but order fulfillment, billing, and servicing is performed by the branded provider. So in the US, ACN resells internet service through AT&T. ACN offers wireless service through its own MVNO called Flash Wireless on Sprint and Verizon's networks. Television services are provided through DirecTV and Dish Network. Home security and automation is offered through Vivint. ACN now also resells energy, electricity, and natural gas, yay, through Plant Energy and that word again, energy. Zoom. See, that was hard to say. The selling of ACN branded and provided services. These are voice over internet protocol, in which ACN owns and maintains its own network of servers. Starting in January 2011, ACN has also added an ACN branded computer technical support service to its service offerings. Isn't that wonderful? She's just so excited about that. You're gonna go get it right now, right? They're like, no, bitch, I'm not. So legal cases, right? This is not as long as I actually thought it was going to be. By the way, I was expecting, I have come on Wikipedia pages, because I usually do kind of check out the Wikipedia. My girl Blair Illuminati uses Wikipedia a lot. And it's because for things like this, honestly, most of the time the information is correct. And it's all in one place. So it makes it a lot easier for us to be like, okay, this is what the company is about. This is how it began. These are the legal cases. This is it. And usually when we, go to a Wikipedia page and we get to an MLM and we get to legal cases, it is not just 3 paragraphs. It's usually a lot more than that. And, so I was honestly like, well, that wasn't as long as I thought it was going to be. No, we were going to have like a page the length of my arm with some legal cases. But then I was like, nah, because I haven't really heard much. I haven't heard much about it. This has been a little bit hushed. For some reason, people aren't talking that much about Trump and his MLMs. I did a video that spoke briefly about this on the Manipulation of a Humbot series. We discuss, like the politics and everything and how the government is actually involved in MLMs, like Trump, and I do bring this up briefly. But, yeah, I really did think that there was going to be a lot more. A lot more. Because although I brought it up briefly, I was like, I haven't actually deep dove the whole thing yet. Like, I do need to talk about this. It's something that needs to be talked about. And I was like, and it's going to be a huge topic. But there weren't as many legal cases as I thought. And then I was like, well, why? Why not, though? Why not, though, Queen? Why wouldn't there be? Then I realized it's probably because the fucking company is run by Donald Trump. And who is going to take Donald Trump to court? Are you going to take Donald Trump to court? This man is suspending these cases anyway and bleeding people dry. Like, good luck is basically what it is. And then I kind of took a seat back and I was like, oh. Well, I just took a positive thing of there being not that many legal cases with the MLM and made me realize it might have been out of fear for those involved in it. And that's why. So, you're welcome. Now it's something negative again, and, I don't really know what to do with it. Because I'm like, yeah, no, that's shit too, and I don't like it. But I don't know what else to say, because I was like, that is what it is. Because, think about it, guys. So, the very first legal case that we know of that's here is June 13th, which is my birthday, by the way, 2002. Now, this company's been going since the 90s, like 1993. Lord. You're going to tell me that they never had a problem until 2002? Yeah, okay. I have a feeling they probably had more problems before that. It's just everything got hush. Which again, you'll see with companies like this. They'll settle if there is a problem so that you don't hear about it. Because a lot of times actually they can settle it early before it even goes through the court system. And that happens a lot with MLMs because they don't want bad press. Just ask Monate about their lawsuits and they'll tell you they don't exist. And you'll be sitting there staring at a page of lawsuits on the company, and you will have a Hunbot telling you that the company doesn't have lawsuits or has won the lawsuits. And Lord, I did a whole video on all the lawsuits, and afterwards I had a Hunbot come into my DMs on Instagram to tell me that I was wrong about their lawsuits. And I was like, I'm wrong reading it off of the Federal Trade Commission website and articles about your lawsuits. What are you talking about? It's not wrong. It's here. It's happened. Your hair will fall out. Your hair will fall out. That was my first song, by the way. So it's like, hello, people. No, they there. Okay. So, Even if there is a fucking lawsuit, sometimes they tell you there's no lawsuits. You're like, yeah. But the company at Monet, for example, are telling the Huns that there's no lawsuit. It's not just a bunch of Huns that are like, oh, there's no lawsuit. No, that Monet actually tells them that it has been all sorted out. Everything's all good, sis. We sorted it all. It was all settled. It's like, no, you have an ongoing one right now. What are you talking about? It's not settled. Hasn't gone away. What are you on? Like, come back down to earth and realize your company is a scam. So I'm looking at this. I'm going 2002. This company's been going since 1993. Yeah, we got about 10 years of this company running before there's a problem. I doubt it. I'm just saying. So on June 13th, my birthday, 2002, ACN settled a case with the Bureau of Consumer Services in Pennsylvania, wherein it was alleged that IBOs were slamming or switching consumer services without authorization. ACN disputed the allegations, and the exact details of the settlement are under court seal. Because, like, you don't want everyone to know you're running a fucking scam. However, the suit alleged that approximately 135 informal complaints were filed with the Bureau of Consumer Services, BCS, between June 2000 and November 2001. So June 2000. So, okay. They did start complaining in 2000. But then you don't hear about it until 2002. Why? Why does it take so many people and so long? And that's what bothers me about these things, is I'm like, it shouldn't take this long with this many people. And I don't know why? And it's funny that it's all under court seal, of course. So it consisted of 22 consumers alleging that their generation service was switched without authorization, slamming. 81 alleged instances of overcharging, which they call cramming, and 32 complaints with allegations of various violations of the Commission's regulations contained in Chapter 54, 56, and 57 of Title 52 of the Pennsylvania Code. Sorry that everybody has that. I'm just used to reading that now. In August 2010, the Montana, and then I can't read the word Montana because welcome to my life. Montana Commissioner of Securities and Insurance, Monica Lindeen, announced the issuance, oh my god, I can't read today, of a cease and desist order and notice of proposed agency action against ACN Incorporated and several of its founders for allegedly operating a what's that pyramid scheme? A pyramid scheme? An MLM pyramid scheme. I mean, like, that's the same thing to me now. Like I've been saying this since I've been out here, that to me, MLMs are really just a pyramid scheme with the loophole of a product. And even in the 2-hour interview I did with Frybaby that was on my channel yesterday, make sure you go check that out. It was amazing. She was fabulous. So much information about the proper usages of essential oils. We talked about overusage. We talked lots of important things. But it's like I just I'm having an aneurysm right now. Because I was even talking to her, and she's like, to me, it's a pyramid scheme loophole of product. And it's like, but it is, though. Like, it is. And I tried for so long to be like, it's not a pyramid scheme, because there's a lot of people in this movement, the anti-MLM movement, that don't want to call it a pyramid scheme. And that's okay. I mean, I get it, because technically it's not exactly one, because there's a loophole of a product, which is why I say it's a pyramid scheme with the loophole. Anyway, but it's kind of like at this point, I think we all have to kind of agree that that's what they are. I don't know how else to word it when I'm discussing them anymore, because when I just say MLMs, people don't understand. Like, they're like, oh, it's just an at-home business opportunity. I'm like, no, but it's a pyramid scheme with a product. You're just getting tricked because you're told that you're selling a product to make the money. You're also your best customer and you have to buy a bunch of it, and then you don't realize that. Because you don't know this if you're in an MLM, but you're your best customer, and so are your downlines. Not strangers on the street. So it's just, it gets to the point, though, where you go through these legal cases and it's over and over again. It's like, literally, founders are being sued for allegedly operating a pyramid scheme. And you're just like, okay, can we just fucking start calling it what it is now? Because, like, we have all of them being sued for allegedly operating a pyramid scheme. So, like, how many of them need to get sued before we're like, okay, this is a pyramid scheme? Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, guys, we gotta be real with it. You know, in September 2010, the commissioner moved to vacate the cease and desist order in full settlement of the case. In the course of the commissioner's investigation, the commissioner determined that the actions giving rise to the initial concerns were not part of the ACN business model. Now just listen to this. I want you to pay attention to this. This is very important. And I'm going to tell you why in a second, but just, you might know. But instead were isolated instances taking place by certain ACN's independent representatives in Montana. All right. Now just wait. The commissioner and ACN agreed that ACN would implement additional training with its independent representatives. Okay, who called the cops on me? No, I'm just joking. To assist them in better understanding their responsibility. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if they were coming here with they come here enough because of people. As ACN independent representatives, and that ACN would contact its Montana video phone customers to assist them with the installation of their service. So, I know for some of you that maybe just sounded like a couple sentences with me rambling about people calling cops on me in between, because literally outside of my home right now, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I literally have like fire trucks. So I know no one actually called the cops on me because it's like fire trucks and police. But so it's like just sirens right now as I'm like trying to read through. But okay, let's go through this just a little bit more. I want you to listen to this. So they decided that these were isolated instances taking place by the independent representatives in Montana. Now, what does that mean exactly? What does that mean? It means they blamed it on their Hunbots. So, as we know, the actions given rise to the initial concerns maybe were not part of the ACN business model in writing. Correct? However, as we all know, when you're working for these MLM companies, they like to have their Huns at the top train you into doing certain things. Like these isolated instances. I'm sure many people out there have seen false medical claims of things like, essential oils cure cancer. That's a big one that we were talking about in the call, the interview I did with Frybaby. So, just think about that. So you're a Hun, all right, and you're working for ACN, Young Living, doTERRA. Unique. It works. It doesn't matter what MLM, because they're all like this, especially now. Because they don't tell you this. They don't tell you this because remember, you're all in a big, nice, tight-knit family. You're all one big team and you're all one big family. You probably joined the Sensi family. You're all just great friends. And they got your back, girl. They got your back. But, here's the thing, sweetheart. When you go to do your training and those big uplines above you tell you, oh, I had a friend of mine and she was cured by this essential oil and now it's so wonderful. You can't post it on your Facebook and say that, but you can tell them, DM me, and then you can have it with a private conversation with them, and that's how you can sell the product. And this happens all the time. All right? And you're new in the business, so you're just trying to listen to your upline, right? You're like, oh my God, like my upline says to do this, so I'll start doing that. That's how I'll make money. So you do it a bunch of times. All of a sudden, you're in court. All of a sudden, you're in court for breaking compliance. Except when you go to court for breaking compliance, it's no longer their issue. Because they shut off your e-suite. You're not even a hun anymore. You get no legal counsel. And it's all on you. You're the one that broke the rules. You're the one that has to go to court. You're the one that they blame it on. They say it's an isolated incident. And you're confused because you literally learned it on a training call with 100 other people, and it was one of their top uplines that told you to say that. And this happens, and it has happened. And then you're in court. And where did they go? Well, I mean, they're not helping you because this was an isolated incident, and they can't have you messing up their business by doing things that are illegal and not supposed to be attached to the business. So then they detach from you. And now you don't have your business. Probably don't have your friends because, well, if you didn't know, when you leave your MLM, the friends leave that you gained, they leave with the MLM too. That upline that was your best friend for 6 months while you were selling for her, once you quit, you'll never hear from her again. It's like, where did she go? She was supposed to come visit. We were supposed to be friends. Like, and then I just don't sell this for her. Now we just don't talk anymore. It actually happens. Now you're in court. You're the one with the legal fees. You're the one facing the legalities of making false medical claims or breaking the rules of the business. And it's all your fault, and you get stuck with the bill. So not only now have you wasted all of your money and time in the MLM and whatever you lost out on while you were in the MLM, but you are also now in court being sued by the Federal Trade Commission, Better Business Bureau, Bureau of Consumer Services, Commissioner of Securities, etc. Anything. And then you're going to have to pay for all that. All by yourself. You lose your house because of it. Your husband will leave you because, he told you not to join the fucking MLM, and you just did it anyway. You even tried to sign him up as a downline under you, and he told you not to. And then, literally, what do you have? And that is why these companies are dangerous. Because they've actually done that to thousands of people. Not all of them end up in court. But every time that one of these companies thinks that you've broken a rule, even if it's something that your uplines or the heads of the company have told you to do, they just shut you down. They just shut off your e-suite or your area, your dashboard, whatever you call it. It was called an e-suite. I think it was called that at Sensi too. I don't even really remember. But yeah, they shut it down. You don't no longer have access to your account. You're no longer with the company. So you're not joining like a sisterhood. You're not joining a place of empowerment. You're not joining a lovely place of people that'll have your back to make a home business for yourself. You're joining a pyramid scheme with a loophole of a product that at any time can fuck you over and shut down your business and leave you in debt, and even with a bunch of legal fees you don't deserve. And people have lost homes over this. People have lost a lot over this, life savings over their MLMs. It's not like something that like only affects a few people. It's something that affects 18 million people in the USA alone yearly. And maybe 1,000 of them are making money. The rest are getting taken. And when I say money, I don't mean a livable wage either. I mean just a little bit of an income. It could just be a $10 income over making even, and they consider it a great pay for you. So basically that's what they did here. So, you know, the business was going to get in trouble, and they went, no, that's not us, it's actually them. It's actually the people that sell for us that are fucking up. They're the ones. So we'll help them, and yeah, and then that person, whoever it was that would have, like, the people, whoever would have, like, brought it to their attention, they would have just been kicked out of the company. Just like, bye. Peace out. But it was probably told. They were probably told to do it. We see it over and over and over and over and over again. All the time. Makes my head hurt. Feel like I'm on loop with that. Just over and over again, seeing it. So it's just like, why do they do this? Why? So then in July of 2019, a SDNY district judge permitted state-level charges of fraud, false advertising, and unfair competition against Donald Trump and his children, Donald Jr. and Jesus Christ, bitch, like, get a better name. Ivanka and Eric, related to their involvement with ACN. The judge, however, dismissed racketeering RICO allegations against the family. The Trumps are accused of not having disclosed that they were being paid by ACN when they recommended ACN as a good investment. As part of the discovery process, the Trumps were ordered in March 2020 to provide information from Trump Organization business records for 15 years back to 2005. And now, I do know that a lot of people heard about that. They knew that he was being forced to hand in all of his business records. So if you were wondering why that was at all, or you missed some of the information, this is why. The Trumps sought to take the case to private arbitration. Of course they did. But the SDNY district judge denied their request on April 8th, 2020. On May 18th, the district court ruled against ACN and Donald Trump's motion for a stay in the case. He had sought a stay during his term as president of the United States. So basically, he was like, listen, I'm president now. I don't want to be connected to this MLM anymore because it's ripping people off, even though I'm all for it when I make money. So, yeah, I'll just pretend like, it has nothing to do with me now. Because remember, it said he disconnected himself. He disconnected himself from it all, yet still somehow promoted at all. It is very confusing, isn't it? It's like, well, what? So now we wait. Now we wait. We wait to find out what happened. And once we find out what happens, then I will let you know. The other thing that I really like about Wikipedia, one of the very good things, is the resources section. It usually has some very good information. As you can see here, this is the actual lawsuit. Yep, there's a lot in it. A lot. I read through some. Honestly, I just gave you the gist of it. There isn't like too much that I feel like I need to really like go over here, except for just a couple points. Oh wait, where is it? All right. So one of the things that makes me laugh is this. So it says Trump estimates of his own worth changed substantially over time, and quoted from Trump's deposition in the case. Listen to this. This is great. Now, Mr. Trump, have you always been completely truthful in your public statements about your net worth of properties? I try. Have you ever not been truthful? My net worth fluctuates and it goes up and down with markets and with attitudes and with feelings, even my own feelings, but I try. You said that the net worth goes up and down based upon your own feelings? Yes, even my own feelings as to where the world is going, and that can change rapidly from day to day. So yeah, even my own feelings affect my value to myself. And I was like, what? What? It's okay. When you publicly state what you're worth, what do you base that number on? I would say it's my general attitude at the time that the question may be asked. And as I say, it varies. So apparently, Trump likes to run his business based on emotion. I found that kind of bizarre. I was like, really? That's interesting. It's very interesting. Beginning in 2005, the year after The Apprentice first aired, defendants used the Trump enterprise to operate a fraudulent scheme in which companies that offered training programs and/or business opportunities to ambitious and entrepreneurial consumers paid the Trump enterprise in secret in exchange for Trump conveying the message with the full weight. Come on, computer. Of his personal brand behind it. This scheme was knowingly designed to defraud consumers and enrich the Trump enterprise. The operation of the scheme with respect to each of the endorsed entities is detailed below. And this is the part that we want to just kind of go through quick again. All right. So, ACN, look at these pictures too, right? Like, oh, ACN, yay. It's like, okay, listen. We got the training. Oh, Makes my head hurt. It actually really does, though. It makes my head hurt to see the training and the recruitments, and it's like, why? Okay. So let's see. The ACN business opportunity needed high-profile endorsement to recruit and maintain investors. ACN is a multi-level marketing company that offers a business opportunity to independent business owners, IBOs. IBOs are required to pay an initial sign-up fee and an annual renewal fee for the privilege of selling ACN's products. As of the 2013 and 2016 time period, the sign-up fee was $499 to sign up. $499 American to sign up. Yep. Take that down to Mexico, because they're gonna have $500 American to sign up for your fucking pyramid scheme. Like, jeez. And then there's a renewal fee of $149, probably yearly after that, I'm guessing. According to the ACN compensation plan, IBOs can earn small commission on sales and billing to customers who purchase ACN products and services through that IBO, with additional bonuses for meeting sales targets. IBOs can also earn money by recruiting others to sign up as IBOs. You don't say. When an existing IBO recruits a new IBO, the recruit becomes part of the existing IBO's downline. IBOs can receive a commission on the sales and bills generated by members of their downline. ACN forbids IBOs from engaging in mass marketing or advertising. Instead, the lifeblood of ACN's recruiting operation is small group events hosted by IBOs in their own homes or at local hotels and event spaces. Does that sound familiar? Like, or on Facebook, in a Facebook fucking party that Sally from 9th grade just keeps on sending the link to. And you're like, Sally, listen, okay, you and I never got along in 9th grade. We never got along. I almost punched you out. And now here you are, you're sending me this link and telling me to join your team and be an IBO. And I'm good. Okay? I don't want to. Stop it, Sally. Stop it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. For $500 too, by the way. Then you have a fucking party. They're like, come to my Facebook party. You're like, no. No, Sally. I don't want to go to your Facebook party. Okay? I don't. I don't want to go to your Facebook party. I don't want to go to your home party. And I definitely don't want to go hang out at a fucking hotel to recruit people. Okay? And trust me when I say the hotel doesn't want you all there either. I'll just throw it out there. So, of course, they're encouraged to identify warm leads among friends, family, and other contacts, and to invite them to small group meetings at their homes to help them in their sales and recruitment efforts. ACN sells IBOs a series of business tools, if you can call them that, including promotional DVDs and magazines, as well as your business assistant, a web application IBOs can use to manage both their downlines and customers. So that's what would get shut down. So you end up in court with this company and your business assistant they shut it down. Too bad. At these small group recruiting events, hosts will typically play the DVDs and distribute the materials they have bought from ACN. The aim is both to sell ACN's products and services and to share the opportunity to become an IBO. These small meetings are the primary mechanism through which consumers are persuaded to make the initial investment to become an IBO for $499 fucking dollars. So yes, here they are. They're having a little meeting. As you can see, they've got the DVD playing on the screen. And I'm looking at all these people like, don't do it! Don't do it! So yeah, there they are. You got the upline here trying to sell it to all the downlines. It's going through the slides and yeah. Oh Lord. I'm getting flashbacks. In order to keep IBOs motivated to invest in promotional materials and business tools after they have signed up, ACN stages ticketed multi-day events. Right? Now, this is how these companies usually make most of their money. Yeah, it's $500 to sign on. That's a lot of money. It's $149 yearly after that. However, where they make the most money is not by the sign-on fees and all that. It's this shit. It's the books. It's the training events, international conventions, the DVDs, all the personal self-help and grow your business crap that they can give you. That's how they make their money, right? So, yeah. Yeah, so they're billed as large training events or international conventions, include both large rallies held in auditoriums with guest speakers who encourage IBOs to make continued investments in ACN, as well as smaller seminar-style breakout sessions. These conventions are not merely business conferences at which participants meet to network and hear from industry experts. They are motivational rallies designed to stoke enthusiasm and convince IBOs that they can make a profit if they just keep investing and trying to build their downline. These events themselves are another source of substantial revenue for ACN. And here we have one of their ACN recruitment parties. You'll notice where it is. In order to, like, how are there that many people there that are fucking in this? Jeez. In order to make both the small group recruiting meetings and the larger motivational rallies successful, it was critical for ACN to obtain high-profile celebrity endorsement. Enter the Trump enterprise. Dum dum dum. ACN first announced that the Trump enterprise had agreed to promote and endorse ACN in the Q4 2005 edition of ACN News Magazine, ACN's quarterly magazine sent to IBOs. The announcement stated that Trump would be featured in a variety of print and video media over the coming months, all designed to help you build your ACN business. The announcement also said that Trump would speak to important points, edifying ACN, the company, and vision. The magazine quoted Trump touting ACN. So that's a direct quote from Donnie Boy there. Not long after Trump's endorsement was first announced, the Q2 2006 issue that was issued ACN magazine. News magazine. Jesus Christ. Fuck my life today. Explained to investors the unprecedented significance of Trump's endorsement. So he's very important. Okay? It's very significant that Trump is endorsing this. It's amazing. The magazine emphasizes Trump's global entrepreneurial stature and the impact it had on bolstering ACN's integrity in the eyes of investors. And now, what did he say? Sorry, I just had to. Yeah, Wiki's come a decently long way. Like I said, it's not always okay. But for the most part, when it comes to these businesses, at least, the information is right on. There might be like one or two things that they might have a little bit off, but it's easy to correct it, right? Like you can then find the real information and be like, oh, that's it. I always look through the resource links at the bottom of every single page, like, so that you know what their resources are when you're using them. That's the best advice that I can give when you're using things like Wikipedia for information, is that you want to always check out their sources, their source links, make sure that what they used as a source was good. But I mean, like I said, for the most part, when it comes to things like this, it's pretty fact, right? It's like you can't lie much about this. Like, I already told you guys as we were going through, like, the couple things that kind of confused me about the way things were worded out there. Or they kind of said a couple things that I may have said it a little bit better or in a different way. But other than that, like, the information was pretty much, like, right on. Which is why I'm like, because I do know that Illuminati gets beaten up a lot out here on the platform for using Wikipedia. And the main time that I see her using it is when she's discussing things like this, these businesses where it is easy to go down, check all of the links, double check, and I know she's not a moron, so she's doing that, and just make sure that, yes, this information is the information that I would probably find all on my own anyway, but it's all in one place, which is why she and myself and several of us will often use Wikipedia for these videos specifically. It just makes it easier. And like right now we're going through the actual lawsuit, which I found, oh, well, it's not on there. That was the other article. It closed and opened this. But yeah, basically I went down, I found the resource link for this is the actual written up lawsuit. And so you know that between the information I read on Wikipedia and then this extra information, which, by the way, all the information I gave you on Wikipedia is pretty much in this. So it's, like I said, it wasn't that much different. Then, you'll have all the information. I mean, I always suggest people go and check things out for themselves. Go find the Wikipedia page, go through the links yourself, read through it all yourself. Don't ever just take my word for anything out here, even if I'm talking about a business. Always go and check things out for yourself. Don't take anyone's word out here about anything. And always go check for yourself. Have your own brain, your own thoughts, and check for yourself. Make sure that the information that is being provided to you is correct. So, this is gonna be the actual quote that they said, and I can't help but just kind of giggle a little bit because of the way it's like put. Oh Lord, you guys have probably read it, but it says, I gotta do it in a Hunbot voice. I'm like, so sorry. This endorsement serves as a huge testament to the integrity of the ACN opportunity. Never before has a company in the direct selling industry received an endorsement from someone of such stature. Donald J. Trump is an entrepreneurial icon. He's a multi-billionaire founder and CEO of the Trump Organization, a globally renowned property mogul, executive producer and host of The Apprentice, founder of Trump University, and a best-selling author. I feel like he wrote it himself. I mean, like, could you have blown any more smoke up of Trump's anus when you wrote this? I don't think so. I mean, the only thing they were missing is, like, world's most handsome man or some shit, okay? Otherwise, like, Jesus, I read it, and I was like, oh God, I gotta read this. Because if I've ever seen some sucking up to someone to promote a company, this is definitely it. Like, holy crap, what is this? Yeah, it's, let me know what you think about that. I was like, listen, this is some fucking smoke, but they forgot he failed at his casino. It was like, how come that's not in there? Following the announcement, the Trump enterprise endorsed and promoted ACN through 4 principal channels. 1, in ACN videos distributed for IBOs to screen at home meetings. Number 2, in features in print and online media, including in ACN branded magazines. And number 3, at ACN events. And number 4, during episodes of The Celebrity Apprentice. Yep. On the television. In each of these channels, as alleged more fully and with greater detail in section 4 below, the Trump enterprise conveyed a common, consistent, and pervasive message. The overall reach of the message across these channels was enormous, allowing the Trump enterprise to convey the message to millions of potential investors. Investors. Is that what we want to call them? Investors? Investors? Downlines? Hunbots? Investors sounds like not what they were doing, okay? And to say, Trump was featured prominently on multiple versions of the ACN Opportunity Disc. I'm sure he was. A series of promotional CDs and DVDs that IBOs use consistently to pitch the ACN business opportunity to prospective recruits. IBOs were encouraged to purchase copies of the Opportunity Disc in bulk from ACN so that they could play the videos on the disc at meetings with potential recruits and sell or give copies of the disc to other ACN participants to do the same. The Opportunity Disc was up to... I just can't. The Opportunity Disc. Opportunity Disc, guys. This is what we're calling it. The fucking The non-Opportunity Disc was updated frequently, sometimes more than once per year. Oh my. Each edition of the Opportunity Disc I can't say it without laughing. During the period of Trump's endorsement included prominent footage of Trump giving his personal endorsement to ACN and the business opportunity it offered. Indeed, the same footage of Trump was reused frequently in successive editions, with only minor editing between editions. The effect was consistent during the relevant time period. The message was conveyed in every edition of the Opportunity Disc in substantially the same form. There it is. That's it. Look at this. ACN's home-based business opportunity, personally endorsed by renowned entrepreneur and multi-billionaire Donald Trump. Like, look at him here. On The Celebrity Apprentice. And his endorsement line is, oh, just beautiful. I mean, poetry. Pure poetry. Shakespeare must have written this. There are a few simple things to... I can't even read it properly because I'm just like... I almost can't get through it. There are a few simple things a company must have in order for me to believe in it, and ultimately for the company to be a success. ACN has all these things and more. The end. Like, huh? What things? What? Wait a minute, what? There are a few simple things a company must have in order for me to believe in it. Like what, Trumpy boy? And ultimately for the company to be a success. Like what? ACN has all these things and more. Just the end. Like, kill? Like, that's what you paid him for. Just, that's what you were all excited about. Okay. No, yeah, fabulous ad, guys. Fabulous ad. Jesus Christ. Jeez. Look at, you're making me do a fucking Smokey. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Do I have that? I don't even care about it enough. To tell you the truth. I do have it though. But, yeah, that's... Anyway. Jesus Christ. ACN was featured frequently and prominently in Success From Home, a monthly magazine that purportedly included reporting on the network marketing and direct selling industry, but in reality, exclusively published content sponsored by companies in that industry. Trump was featured in or contributed to issues of Success from Home, published in April 2007, April 2008, August 2010, August 2011, July 2012, September 2013, September 2014, and August 2015. ACN encouraged IBOs to purchase subscriptions to the magazine, touting it as a valuable third-party validation tool for the ACN business opportunity and the MLM industry, more generally, exhorting IBOs to put one in the hands of each of your top prospects. Trump also encouraged ACN's IBOs to use copies of the magazine to legitimize their business in the eyes of potential recruits. And there they are. Lovely, right? Just, yeah, the wizard of winning. You got some hocus pocus, all right. We got more. The direct selling industry provides a viable business option for someone looking for a new opportunity. The ACN co-founders are men of integrity who puts the needs of their people above their... Jesus fucking Christ. Why are we lying, Trumpy? Why are we lying? Why are we lying out here? They don't have any integrity? What are you talking about? From August 2013 to around February 2015, Trump regularly contributed inspirational notes to ACN's blog. And were they like these ones? Because, like, are these supposed to be inspirational notes? All the way from his first one. There's lots of things that the companies have to have for me to like them. This company has all of it. So inspirational. Oh my god, like, he's such an inspiration. Like, what is happening right now? What is happening? Trump's posts were designed. I'm sorry. Again, in my mind, I'm reading this. And I read the word design, and I'm like, well, yeah, he designed it, alright. Just to show you how my mind works. Readers to attend ACN events at which Trump was scheduled to speak. Listen, he designed it to motivate and encourage IBOs to persevere. That's all you need to fucking know about that, okay? Okay, like, just keep going with your business. Just keep going. And just keep going. You'll be a millionaire. So, he went and told this message at 14 different places at least. In 2014, the ACN website stated that Trump set the record for the most appearances from the ACN stage by any ACN special guest speaker. You, like, did that on purpose. What? Huh? You made him your spokesperson. And then you're like, oh, you made the most appearances. Jesus Christ. I don't know what to do with that. I'm just like, yeah, okay, cool. Your spokesperson for the company usually is the one that makes the most appearances. I'm just throwing it out there, you know. We're not going to go through all of his appearances. These are all of his appearances, okay? Basically, he appeared from September 8th, 2006 until February 15th, 2015, off and on, almost every, 2 months. It was, literally, it was kind of crazy. So, a few times a year at least, he's talking at these events. And here he is. Oh, whoops, no, that was too far. See, I hate this like PDF on my Chrome thing. I don't know why it didn't like open up, and I'm not downloading this right now because I'm just not. All right, hold on. All right. Let's go to, I know what we'll read next. Sorry, guys. That's pretty much all the information about him, like, promoting the company. He promoted it. He essentially, he actually was, though, like, the spokesperson for the company, which is why I have to laugh when they're all like, what the hell? You know, like, anyway. Like, oh my god, he came so many times. Amazing guest speaker. I'm like, you made him your sponsor. Of course. Like, he did. What are we doing? You know? Anyway. So as you can see, we got the Trump Network. Oh, Lord. Alright, so yeah. They basically just promoted for several years. And, basically an article came out that said that Trump shouldn't be doing it. And then he recognized the threat and he attempted to distance himself from ACN. Remember, we kind of talked about that. So I felt like it was important to kind of dive into a little bit more about why he did that, because I know that when I was just reading through the Wikipedia article and the other articles, it was like, but why? But why? So he says, so ACN posed a threat to his presidential campaign, is what an article stated. So Mr. Trump, who currently leads the field of Republican candidates for president, bills himself on the campaign trail as a straight talker and says he will use his business savvy to solve Americans' problems, which, I mean, that sounded wonderful, but I don't think America's problems are business. But anyway, what do I know? What do I know? I'm just some bitch on the internet that, you know, talks about and studies businesses, the psychology behind them all day, but what do I know? So, he just, you know, he was going to solve all your problems with his business savviness. It says, recognizing this threat, Trump attempted to distance himself from ACN. He stated falsely, I do not know the company. I know nothing about the company other than the people who run the company. I'm not familiar with what they do or how they go about doing that, and I make that clear in my speeches. However, he promoted him a hell of a lot, even on The Celebrity Apprentice and YouTube in August 2015. And financial ties between ACN and the individuals with ties to the Trump enterprise have remained. So, I mean, I don't know why he's all like, it's not, like, we're not connected. He literally just got told by a magazine that it would hurt his campaign, and he was just kind of like, okay, I'll stop. Like, I don't know. But then didn't actually stop. So, a few years after the beginning of its relationship with ACN, the Trump enterprise sought to deepen its involvement in the MLM industry. This is where we get to some tea again. In 2009, defendants entered into a licensing agreement with Ideal Health, another MLM. Anyone remember this? As part of the agreement, Ideal Health was officially rebranded the Trump Network. Trump Network used to be Ideal Health. Ideal Health is an MLM that Trump built because Trump did MLMs. The Trump Network deal reflected the defendants' attempt to capitalize on what they had learned from their relationship with ACN, that owners of MLMs could reap enormous profits fueled by widespread losses at the expense of average investors' initial investments. With the promise of such riches, Trump agreed to promote and endorse the Trump Network in exchange for royalty payments, as well as additional fees contingent upon ongoing promotional activities. Thus, in the Trump Network deal, defendants gave even more access to use the Trump brand than had been agreed upon with ACN in exchange for a greater share of the upside. From 2009 until December 2011, the Trump enterprise received secret payments to endorse and promote the Trump Network. Secret payments. As they had done repeatedly with ACN, defendants acting through the Trump enterprise made or disseminated a series of knowingly false statements that prospective investors would have a reasonable probability of commercial success if they bought into the Trump Network. And number 2, that Trump was promoting and endorsing the Trump Network because he believed that they offered a reasonable probability of commercial success, rather than because the Trump enterprise was being paid. And number 3, that Trump's endorsement was predicated on defendants' extensive due diligence, inside information, and personal experience with the Trump Network. And as with ACN, the use of Trump brand amplified Trump's fraudulent message and encouraged potential investors to take it seriously. Ideal Health background in DSNC licensing deal. Ideal Health Inc. was founded in 1997 by Lou DiCaprio and brothers Scott and Todd Stanwood. From its inception, the company sold dietary supplements, health-related products, and customized vitamins as part of an MLM business model. They be like, it works. Between 1999 and 2004, at least 20 different complaints were submitted to the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, by both salespeople and customers of Ideal Health, according to FTC records. Complaints from Ideal Health salespeople stated that they had invested thousands of dollars in the company and had received no returns on the work or investment. In addition, customers of the company submitted complaints stating that the vitamin supplements sold by the company has caused illnesses and that Ideal Health had refused the request to cancel their subscriptions and continued charging for the vitamins. So in other words, the customers were complaining and saying, I'm getting sick from these. Stop sending them to me. And Ideal Health was like, oh, okay, sis, sign you up for next month too. Sounds good. Like, hello. In 2007, Ideal Health was undercapitalized and looking for a strategic partnership that could help grow brand recognition and expand its existing network of sales representatives. Of course they were. In early 2008, the Stanwood brothers and DiCaprio, not Leo the cute one, this shit one that runs MLMs, were introduced to Trump to discuss a possible partnership. In January 2009, TTN LLC, TTN may stand for the Trump Network, if you didn't know, was registered in the state of Delaware. Corporate records show that the company planned to engage in the marketing, selling, and distribution of health and wellness products. Scott and Todd Stanwood, as well as DiCaprio, again, not the cute Leo one, the shitty one, were listed as the company's managers. Shortly after TTN LLC's formation, Ideal Health agreed to conduct its business exclusively through TTN LLC essentially merging the corporate activities with the new business entity. On March 4th, 2009, TTN LLC entered into a licensing agreement with DSN Licensing LLC, a member of the Trump enterprise. According to court records, Ideal Health Incorporated created TTN LLC as a wholly owned subsidiary for the specific purposes of its licensing agreement with DSN Licensing LLC. Look at that. I am not perfect, and sometimes I make mistakes when I'm reading. Oh my god. Cancel me now. The initial agreement literally stated that Ideal Health would license various trademarks principally owned and the likeness of Mr. Trump to utilize in Ideal Health's drug marketing efforts. In addition, Trump agreed personally to promote and support the Trump network, including without limitation, to appear personally at a number of company events each year and to appear on the company's marketing and promotional videos and other materials. Shortly after the deal, a senior advisor and top-rank representative at ACN, Marty Hale, was brought on board at the Trump network as chief strategist to help redesign the compensation plan and ensure some of the same success that Trump had experienced with ACN, of course. The Trump network, as the new venture was named, was an MLM that purported to sell an array of diet supplements and multivitamins. As is typical with MLMs, the Trump network relied on participants to sell their products person to person or to recruit others to do the same. Each additional salesperson that someone recruited to the Trump network would become a member of the recruiter's downline sales team. The incentive to continue to build out one's own downline sales team was inherent in the structure of the scheme. For each commission of the Trump network's products sold, a percentage of that commission would pass to each upline recruiter, with the individuals at the top of the pyramid earning the greatest income. Those salespeople then, in turn, would recruit additional people to become part of their own downline sales team, and so on, with each additional salespeople undertaking to resell the Trump network products and percentage of each sale funneling all the way up the pyramid. So, like, all you gotta do is, like, sign up 5 friends, and then you get them to sign up 5 friends, and then, like, they sign up 5 friends, and then they sign up 5 friends, and, like, before you know it, you just get to, like, sit in your living room and play with your kids and make a bunch of money. It's, like, so cool. You should totally join us. Will you join our team today? Like, legit is what it is. Like, shut up, Karen. Funnel up the pyramid. Seriously, it makes me laugh so much when they talk about pyramids. So some of the companies even call it a pyramid. I'm like, do you know what you doing here, sis? Do you know? Do you know? So, as is typical with MLMs, the Trump network relied on participants to sell the products person to person and to recruit others to do the same. Each additional salesperson that someone recruited to the Trump network would become a member of the recruiter's downline. The incentive to continue to build out one's own downline sales team was inherent in the structure of the scheme for each commission. So just think about this. This is an MLM. If you need to recruit in order to make your money, it's most certainly an MLM. That's probably one of the most important parts of figuring out if the company is an MLM is this part. Becoming a Trump network salesperson, however, was costly. Beginner sales representatives were told to buy a starter kit of products costing nearly $497 and encouraged to attend expensive seminars in order to join at the Fast Start Gold level. A marketer could spend about $600 just to purchase a kit of sample products even before paying to attend a seminar or purchasing additional supplies. And like I said, there ain't nobody in Mexico that should be doing that shit. Trump promoted and endorsed the Trump network with a widely distributed and pervasive message. Shortly after DSN Licensing LLC entered an agreement with the Trump network, Trump widely disseminated false statements promoting and endorsing the Trump network. Trump's false statements were distributed through various channels, including television, infomercials, news outlets, printed promotional and editorial materials, and in-person promotional events. Here it is. What does this look like to you guys? Join me, take the leap of faith that's necessary in any worthwhile endeavor. Jesus Christ. This Donald Trump or Donna the Hunbot. Like, literally. Oh, Lord. First, Trump featured prominently in infomercials promoting the Trump network, beginning with a 2009 infomercial announcing the Trump network's official launch. The infomercial simulated a television talk show, in which a host interviewed Trump about his thoughts on the Trump network. You may have seen this. To frequent applause from actors, portraying an excited studio audience. There's a clip of it that many people use when discussing Trump. Second, Trump took advantage of opportunities to disseminate false statements about the Trump network through news outlets. For example, in December 2010, he issued a press release announcing that former contestants from The Apprentice would be joining the Trump network. The same month, Trump also discussed the strength of the Trump network business model with reporters from the Boston Globe, among others. Third, Trump's false statement touting the message described more fully below appeared in numerous printed promotional materials of the Trump network, as well as dozens of interviews with reports about the Trump network business opportunity. Moreover, between the years of 2009 and 2011, for example, at least 2 different letters addressed to potential Trump network investors or marketers and signed by Trump personally were posted to the Trump network website. Oh, Lord. There it is. Lord, it's so long. The second thing I learned is that the economy goes in cycles. When some industries fail, others take off, and I go by my feelings and my emotions, like you just read. Like, what? Alright, so fourth, Trump appeared as the keynote speaker at several in-person promotional events for the Trump network. For example, Trump spoke at the 2009 Trump network launch in Miami, Florida, heralding the launch of the Trump network to a room of several thousand people. The Trump network is not a long shot, he proclaimed. This is going to be something that's really amazing. And here he is. Throughout the relevant period, Trump frequently misrepresented the nature of the Trump network's business model and offered false and misleading promises of success. Trump's statements promoting the Trump network and his depiction in countless promotional materials were intentionally calculated to give the false impression that the Trump network investment opportunity offered a reasonable probability of commercial success for those who invested in it. Oh, Lord. Jesus Christ. All right. Let's read through this.
What can the Trump Network do for you? Already thousands of existing marketers have achieved great success. You can too. Unlimited income potential, weekly paychecks and monthly bonuses, corporate profit sharing potential, long-term residual income potential. That's why. Generous rewards program, including a car award program. A car award. It just has to be white. And I'm not actually getting a car reward. I'm leasing it through the company, and it has to be white. And I have to put 10 logos on it, and then I have to hit rank every month. Otherwise, I get stuck with it. But I swear, it's a car award program. Okay? Fun and excitement as you grow your network. Just don't piss anyone off, because then they'll totally hate you. The Trump Network is recession proof, which is why we promoted it like hell during last recession, and non-seasonal, so you can do it all year round, and positioned to dramatically impact. That's the only fucking true thing that they fucking said in this whole thing. It's positioned to dramatically impact lives. Oh yeah, it is. Just not the way you're trying to say it will. You have to be smart and plan for your future. You can't expect your job or the government to create your wealth. I wonder if he still thinks this now that he's the government. just wondering. Trump made repeated statements calculating to cause the listener to believe that investing in the Trump Network was a sound financial decision, that it was without risk, and that it would provide sufficient return to save them from the threat of financial ruin in the wake of the recession. From 2009 until 2011, Trump traveled around the country promoting the Trump Network and promising people that it was a safe investment. During his in-person appearances, Trump spoke to large crowds and enthusiastically gave the Trump Network scheme his personal stamp of approval, referencing his own track record of success, which, well, I'll let you think what you want of it. In a 2009 infomercial heralding the launch of the Trump Network, Trump specifically targeted vulnerable individuals suffering from the effects of the economic recession. The Trump Network wants to give millions of people renewed hope, and with an exciting plan to opt out of the recession, he said, "I hope you're going to join us." Emphasis added. Made me laugh a little bit. Emphasis added. Similarly, in an open letter to potential investors signed by Trump personally and posted on the Trump Network website in or around 2009, Donald Trump wrote, "The Trump Network can provide you with a solution to help you and your family create a more secure future. Diversifying is a way to protect your income so that you can continue to do what you know and love and still make money." Yeah. Alright, one sec, guys. I'll be right back.
people stream for 12 hours without paying. So I just quickly went pay and then checked out my kid. May have smoked a quick bong, I don't know. Anyway. Similarly, in an open letter to potential investors, signed by Trump personally, of course, and posted on the Trump Network website, in or around, we don't know. Jesus Christ, maybe I am a fucking skin wearer. I sound like the kid right now. The Trump Network can provide you with a solution to help you and your family create a more secure future. Diversifying is a way to protect your income so that you can continue to do what you know and love and still make money. Yeah. And at a 2009 appearance in Miami, Florida, for the official launch of the Trump Network, Trump made similar statements extolling the commercial prospects for those who invested in the Trump Network. When I did The Apprentice, it was a long shot. This is not, I hate how they never finish the sentence on the same page. Long shot. This is going to be something that's really amazing. We are going to be the biggest in the industry. Emphasis added because apparently the bold and the italics didn't let us know. Trump also made misrepresentations about the products that the Trump Network sales representatives sold. Of course, right? For example, in an open letter posted on the Trump Network website, titled, I'm sorry, this is... It's an open letter posted on the Trump Network website titled, A Personal Letter from Donald J. Trump. How did you come up with that, Donald? How original. And containing Donald Trump's personal signature at the bottom. Trump wrote that the... You guys ready for this? This is going to be quite the thing. Oh, Lord. We... Do you want me to just read the whole thing? Oh god, can I do a Hunbot voice for this right now? Let's see. I can't do a Trump voice. I gotta work on a Trump voice or something now. If I'm gonna be doing these streams, I gotta get a Trump voice going or something, you know? He says, I'm pleased to be a part of this great company and glad you are taking time to learn more about it. The vision for the Trump Network goes far beyond the individual products. The Trump Network is designed to help you become the very best you can be, physically and mentally. Todd, Scott, and Lou understand that to be successful, you remember Lou DiCaprio, not Leo DiCaprio, Lou DiCaprio. Understand that to be successful, you have to surround yourself with the best and the brightest. The Trump Network works with some of the best nutritionists, scientists, and technologists. As a result, our products are leaders in their categories, designed to help improve your health and wellness, putting you on a path to the lifestyle you've always wanted. The first step towards your ideal lifestyle. The mission of the Trump Network is to empower you to become all that you were meant to be. That was so Hunbot, because it really just is, though. A financial solution you can believe in. Should we be taking advice from... Anyway, the Trump Network offers you something you can believe in. Products that help make people healthier, an opportunity for you to make as much money as you want based on your own efforts, and the training and support to help you succeed. Remember, it's all based on your own efforts, so when you fail, it's all your fault. A personal letter from Donald J. Trump. Oh god, I wonder how long it took him to come up with that name. A few years later, however, when questioned about reports that the Trump Network products were ineffective and based on flawed or non-existent science. Now here's the thing, and this was discussed a little bit with Frybaby and I'm going to be going into great detail very shortly about some of these scientists and doctors working for these companies, because you're going to find out that a lot of them can't practice. I've noticed that there seems to be a trend with these companies where they tend to get the doctors that, the doctors, the scientists, all those nutritionists. They, a lot of them have issues from their practices or problems, and then they end up working for the MLM. Now, here's the thing about that. If you are a doctor or a scientist and you are hired on by an MLM, you are hired on by the MLM to prove the MLM. You're supposed to throw your ethics out the window, throw your integrity out the window, and prove whatever they want you to prove for money. Is legit what it is. And so when they say at the beginning of this, Trump goes, oh, we've got all the best scientists, and then we come down to this part and it says that if the products were ineffective and based on flawed or non-existent science, I'm sure that there are people in the world who are like, but wait a minute, there were scientists. How did that happen? There were doctors. It's like the doctors that say you should eat essential oils that are with the essential oil companies, even though you can't eat essential oils. Why do they say that? Because they get paid to say that. It's an issue out here where doctors and scientists get paid by companies to say what they want them to say. So he hired on scientists and nutritionists and all these people, hired on, had them, do whatever with the products, and be like, oh yeah, they're so great, they'll do this and this and this for you, and, promotes them, sells them, blah, 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 and then it comes out later that there's no science to nothing. Because scientists that aren't being paid for the company start looking at it and going, nah, this is not good. Longest stream ever. So basically, that's why you will hear of a scientist and then all of a sudden you'll hear there's non-existent science. So Trump representatives told reporters that Trump was never personally involved in the creation of the Trump Network's products and that he did not guarantee their effectiveness. Trump did not own the company or make the products, an attorney speaking on Trump's behalf claimed. Only called the fucking Trump Network. Like, Jesus Christ. Trump encouraged investors to rely on his statements by emphasizing his record of success in business and assuring prospective recruits and his past achievements assured their success, which is not fair to do. You cannot come out into an MLM company that you just created and be like, all of my past experiences will make it so that you're successful in this brand new MLM company I just created. It makes no sense. His past achievements have nothing to do with this. Does not ensure your success whatsoever. And so it's just kind of funny to me that was the thing. In 2010 interview with the Boston Globe, for example, Trump said that the Trump Network has a big advantage over other network marketing concerns because of the fact that I am so well known. I am so well known. Everybody knows me. I'm Donald Trump. He continued. Of course he did. Like, see, I knew it. It is very important for me to be associated with success, so it's very important for me that the Trump Network be a big success. Yeah, I'm sure it is, but I'm sure it is. As with ANC, the fact that the Trump enterprise had sold the Trump Network a license to use the Trump brand dramatically increased the impact of Trump's false and misleading statements. Good job, Trump. You trumped yourself. For example, in a 2011 interview with New York Magazine, when asked about his decision to partner with Trump, DiCaprio, again, Lou, not Leo, explained the critical importance of having the Trump endorsement in getting people to invest. Oh, here you go. What do you think of Donald Trump as a asshole? Is it? No? Brand, what do you think of? That should be fun. What do you of Donald Trump as a brand, what do you think of? Let me know in the comments. What do you think of when you think of Donald Trump as a brand? Just take a moment right now if you're watching this and just go write a comment and let me know. I'm interested. Don't pay attention to the rest of this, like, in that answer. Just stop what you're doing, which is hopefully watching the stream, and just come comment to me and tell me, when you think of Donald Trump as a brand, what is it that you think of? Because I definitely do not think of prestige products, best in class, and really being successful, but apparently that's what I'm supposed to be thinking. So I would like to know what the rest of you are also thinking. DiCaprio, again, Lou, not Leo, went on to note that no matter what happens, Trump can come back out of the ground like a phoenix and get right back on top again. He represents entrepreneurialism for this country. He represents success. He represents being one of the worst presidents of the United States. I mean, there's that. In one Trump Network infomercial, a man explains that he left a six-figure job to join Trump's new business when he realized how huge this is going to be. You guys knew I was going to do that. Come on. Another man said that when he learned that Trump was starting his own company, it was a no-brainer. Like, how did he say that? With a no-brainer. He continued explaining that Trump's involvement brings so much to the industry. It brings credibility. Fuck you, Trump. It brings us to a new level. Fuck you, Trump. Because everyone recognizes and trusts that Trump brand name. And so when we talk business, Trump means business. Oh, that was so hard to read. It brings in credibility. Oh. To the MLM scam that he's running, guys. That's what they're thinking. Trump's statements and the use of the Trump brand had the desired effect. Vulnerable consumers relied on his assurances. They believed him when he promised that the Trump Network was a low-risk way to escape the financial impacts of the recession. And if people worked hard enough, they would make a good return. During the recession, just $500 to sign up during the recession. And if you work hard enough, you'll make a good return. Sounds wonderful, doesn't it? The answer to all your problems. For example, Jesus, now I'm just inventing words. For example, Eileen and George Kelly, two Florida residents and retired college professors, spoke about their experience with the Trump Network in a 2016 CBS investigative report. They were sowing hope there to a lot of people in the middle of the recession, and that is fucking disgusting. If it doesn't make you sick that this man, Trump, he's a fucking billionaire, had created an MLM to prey on people during the recession, well, I don't know, you might be a sociopath. I don't know. But basically, that is just a shitty thing to do as a human, okay? What are you doing trying to rip people off during the recession? They're one of the richest men in the world. So that was coming from poor George Kelly, and this is George and Eileen Kelly. Let me just take a look at George and Eileen Kelly here. I was sold on the product and the message and the testimonials, and then of course, Donald Trump coming on. Look how old they are. And I'm not saying that to be rude, I mean guys. He preyed on elder people during the recession. Just take that in for a moment. People like these two people will pour their life savings into a company like this and lose everything. To Donald Trump, of all people, just makes me sick. You gotta think, this couple, they've probably worked hard their whole lives, saved a bunch of money, get taken by Donald Trump's MLM during a recession. Because, well, the man who's going to be president of the United States is basically telling them to fucking buy shit. It's like, it's a shitty thing. It's, disheartening. Makes me sick to my stomach a little bit. It's because of people like this that I do these videos. Because it hurts my heart when I see a picture of an older couple like this, and I'm reading a story like this. And I say, oh my god, yeah, my storage space probably is messed up on my computer, thank you. But yeah, I say, I need like 5 laptops and desktops now to do YouTube. With all the files. But yeah, it just, I needed some kind of comedic release there for a minute, because boy, this was getting heavy. It's just, it's hurtful. It bothers me that this is allowed to go on in our world, and it's like so acceptable socially. These MLMs, and they destroy people. Just people like this, just 2 normal. Sure, they're fucking great people. Worked hard their whole lives. Probably have some grandkids. I want to give the victims a face here. I think sometimes when people think we're talking about hunts and stuff, you think we're just talking about those 20-year-old girls that are on your Facebook. You're forgetting about the elderly people that join. And all the people that aren't young stay-at-home moms. And these companies really take them. I just think it's really important to think about that. And remember that not everybody that joins these companies are evil. They're not bad people. There are people that want to rip people off. They aren't people that want to, be in a pyramid scheme harming others. Everybody that joins these companies, for the most part, 99% of the people that join these companies are normal, everyday people who are good people that just want to make a living for their family. That's it. They're not bad people. We call them Hunbots, we call them Huns, we call them Karens. But we don't call them bad people. Because they're not bad people. And usually when we use those words, we're talking in a general sense. And that's actually one of the reasons why we came up with those terms. It made it a lot easier to talk about what they do in a more general sense. Than making it so personal on the individual. And it's something we've been talking a lot about in this community recently, is like anti-bullying when it comes to Huns and not making things personal. And that's because sometimes Huns are just, and Brobots are just Eileen and George Kelly. Not awful people. Just 2 people who trusted Donald Trump and figured that since he was such a successful businessman and he was promising to teach them to be successful, that they would learn how to be successful maybe at the end of their lives, like let's get our retirement going and they sign up people because they're told to. They know they won't make money if they don't. It's very seldom someone that's signing up someone in an MLM that's thinking, oh, I'm gonna get all these people for their money. And it bothers me when I see people talking about people like that. Because for again, 99% of the people in the MLM companies, they aren't thinking that way at all. They're thinking, I want to help people. I was told that these products help people and I want to help people. They're thinking, I want to make a business. I want to be able to support my family and spend more time with my family. They're not thinking, I want to go rip off a bunch of downlines. It really is only the people at the top of these companies that are thinking that way. That top 1% that are in this. The ones that create it, and then usually the first group of the recruits. Like I said earlier in this, those 20 people that joined on right after it began, they'd be the ones making money, along with the CEOs. Anyone under them is getting taken. So yeah, think about that. You got this big, huge company, you got Donald Trump, you got maybe 20 people that are making money in Donald Trump, and then everybody else under it is making nothing, or coming out even if they're lucky. And many are losing money, because you have to buy products. So then that comes out of your pocket. And if you don't make enough, you end up paying out of pocket more than you end up actually making money. Because even if you get a $50 commission, you probably had to spend $150 on products that month. So are you making money? At the end of the day, there really is no profit. That's why for the most part, you end up coming in even. Because any profit you make, you end up putting back in your business, which you're told to do because it's a good business move, apparently, is to put it all right back in. You never put it all right back in. Put a percentage back in, but you don't ever put all of your profit from your business back into business. Anyway, I'm not going to go on a big business rant right now, but basically, just in future, if you're talking about hunts, if you're talking about robots, and you feel the need to maybe go hard on someone or be a little mean, just maybe just think here of Eileen and George Kelly, because I could yell at these two for being involved in this. I mean, look at them, they look so sweet. I mean, are you going to tell me that these two people got into this because they wanted to rip people off? Because no, that's not it. So I just want to talk for a moment with this on the screen about that, because I think it's very important to put out there, because it's not like people sign up for these companies and they're like, I can't wait to rip off a whole bunch of people in my pyramid scheme, and it seems to be a very big stigma out here that I want to end. So just keep that in mind, and let's hear the full story of Eileen and George Kelly, which is going to be heartbreaking. The experiences of Eileen and George Kelly were typical of other investors in the Trump network. In the months following the launch of the newly rebranded Trump network, recruitment increased significantly. In just 1 year, the company recruited 15,000 new participants, growing from 5,000 to 20,000 after securing the Trump endorsement. In a 2010 press release, the company stated that it had grown 373% since partnering with Trump. 373. According to a complaint filed by Dean Blackman with the Supreme Court of New York in Suffolk County in 2009, at the time that Ideal Health announced the deal with Trump. What do you say? Corporation to rebrand the company as the Trump Network, company leadership told its existing network of marketers that they expected the company's revenue to grow to $1 billion. Trump's statements that the Trump Network offered a reasonable probability of commercial success were false. In reality, the chances of commercial success were minuscule. Approximately a year after its official launch, the company stopped regularly paying its salespeople. This is where it gets like, you get the tea now. Alright, we getting the tea. Why am I so stuffy today? Alright. So, just think about that. They stop paying their sales. Just don't pay them, just no money for you, motherfuckers. In 2009, for example, a former salesperson told reporters that she was making 6 figures, enough to support her child as a single mom. After barely a year, however, the paycheck stopped, and the salesperson lost her house and car. Children. Single mom. Gets involved in business. Makes 6 figures. Not even a year later, all of a sudden, she's in debt and loses her house and car. Typical MLM story, unfortunately. In December 2011, Trump's licensing agreement with Ideal Health expired and was not renewed. By 2012, the company was sold and renamed Bioceutical LLC, and people who had bought into Trump's promises of success lost everything. Now listen to this. George and Eileen, that really cute couple that we were just looking at for so long. I'll just remind you, just because George and Eileen, aren't they cute? I hope me and my husband look this good together when we're this old. They're adorable, George and Eileen. And then you go down here and listen to this. George and Eileen Kelly, for example, who invested their retirement savings into the Trump network precisely because of Trump's assurances, lost nearly $10,000 in only a couple years, and they invested their retirement savings, guys. They put their retirement savings into this. The money that they have worked for their entire life to be able to finally relax. For, maybe a decade or two at the end of their life without having to work. Have a nice little nest egg. Recession hits. They get a little worried. Donald Trump comes in, savior of the day. Okay, we'll give you our retirement savings. $10,000 gone in only a couple years. So I'm sorry, why do I make these videos? Because of this. Don't tell me that my videos aren't important. That is important to get out into the world, because I hate reading these stories. It's disgusting. It's disgusting that this old couple got taken for their retirement money. I hate this. And it's funny because it happens so often. It's literally something that happens regularly with these companies all the time. And people are like, but they're just home businesses. They don't, so what if a stay-at-home mom sells some Scentsy? Why are you being so negative and, trying to shut down their business? I'm not trying to shut down your business. I'm trying to save you for a minute. By 2012, numerous judgments totaling in excess of $1.75 million were awarded against the Trump network. And of course, these people. So Scott Stanwood, Todd Stanwood, and I don't know why they just keep saying DiCaprio. Lou DiCaprio, not Leo DiCaprio. That's why I say that. I'm they just don't even put his first name in there. They're Scott Stanwood, Todd Stanwood, and DiCaprio. It's someone's got to stick up for Leo here. Someone might see this and think it's him. Jesus Christ. So then, of course, Trump falsely represented that he was endorsing the Trump network because it was his company and because he genuinely believed it would be a success. So, Ideal Health partnered with defendants in 2009. The name and face of the company was changed and rebranded, but the fundamental products and business model remained the same. Nonetheless, Trump promoted the Trump Network products and business opportunities as if it were a new venture that he himself had created. And do you know what? It being called the Trump Network obviously didn't help with that. A lot of people think that he is the Trump Network. I mean, it's fucking called the Trump Network. You would think I get it. So, you know, because he's not technically the one that did create it, right? It was created by the other dudes, and then he joined on as like a promoter partner to promote it and be a part of it, but he didn't create it, and he really didn't look into the products much, obviously. So yeah, he kind of went back and forth. At the beginning, it was very much all like, oh, this is my company, the Trump Network, it's so great, like, join it, blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, as we read earlier, as soon as he decided that he was going to, you know, run for presidential elect, suddenly it just wasn't his company, and no connection. Where did it go? Why? Well, ACN what? Trump Network what? So obviously he got himself caught. He kind of ratted himself out with that, need I say. So that's part of the issue with this. Which you gotta laugh at a little bit, okay? I mean, think about it. The dude ratted himself out. He's supposed to be a really smart business dude, but this ratted him out. Trump sent a message. Oh yeah, because apparently he had conducted appropriate due diligence, which, as you're finding out, was not the case. Trump sent a message that investors should trust him because he had access to superior information than they did, upon which he had based his investment decisions. So, what is that? What is that? So, here's the thing. For those of you that maybe aren't like very familiar with investments, things like this, what he did here was very illegal. You can't basically promote like that people invest in you because you have some kind of connection that's gonna tell, like, do you know what I mean? So he's out here telling everyone he's got these connections, he has access to superior information, and basically he's committing investment fraud. Talking people into believing that he's got this great info, all this great information and stuff, all about the company. Like, it's an amazing company, it's a great investment, you guys should invest in it. I got all this information, all this behind the scenes stuff, so you should invest. And it's very illegal for you to get people to invest, especially in your own thing, if you are stating that you have, you know, inside sources with that. You can't be doing that. It's very grimy. It's like if you're working at Wall Street, you can't go around. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just you don't do it. So that's kind of the issue with this. So he suggested that his belief was predicated on, among other things, his personal stake in the company. Now, the funny thing is, he actually doesn't own a majority of the company. He doesn't own it. So, He doesn't have a personal stake in the company. Like I said, he was literally hired on as someone that invested in it, so he invested in the company. Now, that doesn't mean that you're automatically a stakeholder, by the way. No, you can just be an investor without owning a part of the company. So, he basically invested a little bit of money and then was acting like he owned the thing. So, like, one minute he owns the thing, the next minute he doesn't own the thing. He doesn't even know if he owns it or not, or if he wants to promote he owns it or not, right? Like, it's just back and forth with him the whole time. Until we get into, the election days, and stuff starts coming out. And then you find out the real truth about Donald Trump and his businesses, right? And so he's going around, he's telling everyone that he owns a majority of this company, and he knows all about the investment that you should be making into the company and how successful it's going to be because he owns these stakes. He has investments in it. He owns stock, basically, in the company. So he's telling people that the stock market in the company is going to do really well because he knows. Because, he owns a majority of it. And he's also got inside sources that are telling him very illegal to do. Especially, like I said, if you really just invested some of your money and then you're getting paid to be a promoter, an endorser, marketer. That's all he was. That's what he did. That was the job. Very illegal, Trump. And he knows better, right? Donald Trump, the billionaire businessman, knows better. In a 2016 investigation into the Trump Network, for example, CBS reported that Donald Trump had personally signed a letter addressed to Trump Network marketers that plainly stated, "I believe in the Trump Network products." He's always a man of many words, right? When he needs to be. I believe in the Trump Network products. It's like, because they named them after me. Moreover, at his appearance at the Trump Network, can we just, and you're gonna go broke, and you're gonna go broke, and you're broke, and you're broke. Sorry, I had to. He had the finger up, okay? Moreover, at his appearance at the Trump Network launch in 2009, Trump told attendees, "I'm going to be our company as a group." It's going to be our company as a group. Sorry, I was like, I'm going to be, at this point, you never know with the narcissism that this man has. He could have said, "I'm going to be our company as a group." I mean, Trump could have said that. It's not what he said, but I feel like it's something he would say. He assured them, "We're all going to be successful together." It's like, okay there, billionaire Trump. Thanks for your assurance. I hope so. We're all going to be successful together. Now we're in this together. So, Daddy, do I get a trust fund? Trump was conveying to eager listeners that he wanted them to join a business of which he was a part and whose success he would ensure. And he had everybody tricked with that, eh? At this time, no one knew that these were MLMs. No one was really putting it together. The MLM community was really just being created. Around 2011, 12. So, you have to kind of think about that, too, and then be like, we didn't have the information out either as much, and yeah, nobody really knew as much about MLMs back then, so that's another reason why it's so much more socially acceptable back then, too, and also, why nobody really cared. I mean, you're probably going, "Oh my god, this man run 2 MLMs, we're not doing deep dive on Donald Trump. What's going on?" And it's yeah, it's because not many people actually realize that Donald Trump made his money off of MLMs. It's true though. We're reading about it right now. So, yeah, it's just weird thing, isn't it? Isn't it a little weird? It's a little weird. It's like he is the 1%. That's it. And he wants to ensure your success. That's what they all say. It's like the famous line of the MLMs. They're like, we want to ensure your success so that I can ensure my success, because I don't make money unless I make money off your back. Like, okay, thanks, sis. Cool. Can't wait for the prep talk. He assured them we are all going to be successful together. I missed the fact that it was assured, so he's assuring them. Trump was conveying to eager listeners that he wanted them to join a business of which he was a part and whose success he would ensure. Ensure. So that's a for sure thing. Trump urged people to believe in his endorsement of the Trump network and to trust his judgment. All the while fucking up his lack of actual involvement in the company. Actually, making light of his lack of actual involvement. He just was like, no, I'm totally involved in it. I'm all up in that bitch. As alleged above, a Trump enterprise entity, DSN Licensing, LLC, and Ideal Health had entered into a simple licensing agreement in which DSN Licensing, LLC received payments for Trump's promotions and endorsements of the company in exchange for the use of the Trump name and brand. Trump, no, see, again, so Trump was neither the owner nor the operator of the Trump network, but created that impression in the minds of potential recruits. So the funny thing that we are learning today, a lot of people I'm sure, is that Trump doesn't own the Trump network at all. It's not his. It's not his. Basically, Trump Enterprise gets a big cut from the companies, and he promotes them. But he doesn't actually run them. He invested. Like I said, he donated some of his money to it. But that does not in any way mean that he actually has a stock in the company. It doesn't mean he owns a part of the company. It doesn't mean any of that. But he told everyone that. And honestly, a lot of it too, I do have to say, because I remember this, and a lot of it was people just assumed it. It was kind of like Trump Network must be Trump's. Why wouldn't it be? And he just never corrected though. Does that make sense? He'd do an interview, and they would ask him about it, and he would act like it was his. He just never corrected anyone, because everyone else just kind of assumed, because he was all up in there, and it's called the Trump Network. So it's kind of only come out in the last few years now that that wasn't his. And he's been also using the success of that company to kind of tout his own success, and not his. I mean, he gave him a little bit of money, and he, promoted him a bunch, but that doesn't mean that it's his. So, a June 2008 proposal from then president of Ideal Health, Lou DiCaprio, to Kathy Glosser, former executive vice president of global licensing for the Trump Organization, provides additional insight into the details of the agreement between DSN Licensing LLC and Ideal Health. According to the proposal, the Trump Organization would receive an initial licensing fee of $1 million, as well as a 17% equity stake in Ideal Health Inc., additional income, and cash distributions. In return, Trump would, among other things, attend the company's annual national meeting as a keynote speaker, participating in 2 of the company's leadership conferences with compensation. So he's also getting paid. Participate in 2 conference call interviews with the founders and 2 audio and video productions. And that would have all been in the contract. It would have actually been written out like that, where it's you have to come to this many things a year or whatever. feel like they would have actually said this. They would have been like, okay, so you need to go to an annual national meeting as a keynote speaker. You got to go to 2 of our leadership conferences, but we'll pay you, so it's all good, man. Don't worry about that. We also need you on 2 conference calls, all right? One is going to be, like, or 2 audio, and then we also need you on a video, by the way, but just, I have no clue why they said it. Anyway, finally, Trump would agree to have his image and quotes used in company marketing and recruiting materials. So, basically, they kind of, like, fought him for his image a little bit. They're like, listen, we know that we can make money and rip off more people with your name attached to this company. So we're going to call it the Trump Organization. We're going to get you to promote it for us. We'll pay you, man, and then we're all going to get rich. And he was like, sounds good. All right. And what, I just got to show up for some meetings and we all get rich off this pyramid scheme? Awesome, fam. Notably, the proposal stated that under the terms of the agreement, Trump would agree to allow the Trump network to use his image and quotations for press releases and marketing materials with Trump's approval, which will not be unreasonably withheld. Emphasis added. I love how they tell us that. As was the case with ACN, because Trump's image could only be used with his approval, the Trump enterprise very likely approved the company's statements about Trump's endorsement and role in the Trump network. In addition to Trump's own endorsement, the Trump enterprise also facilitated the endorsement of and participation in the Trump network by several former contestants from, how suspenseful, The Apprentice. You didn't know. In a 2010 press release discussing those endorsements, Trump echoed the idea that he was endorsing the Trump network because he genuinely believed in the company. And there's that beautiful quote. When I started The Apprentice television show, everyone told me it was a long shot. We are now in our 10th season. The Trump network is not a long shot. I want people to be successful and to enjoy what they are doing. I see unbelievable enthusiasm for the company's products and business model. Trump's misrepresentation about the meaning of and motivations for his endorsement succeeded in bringing many new recruits to the Trump network. Hate it. In the span of a little over 2 years, thousands of people were induced to invest in the business opportunities offered by the Trump network because of Trump's seemingly genuine endorsement and false statements about the company. For example, Richard Chester, a marketer for the Trump network based out of Long Island, New York, told New York Magazine, who in their right mind would not go with something Donald Trump is promoting. Well, I mean, like me, but anyway, Chester explained that although he was initially hesitant to join, promotional videos of Donald Trump on the Trump Network's website convinced him. He said, I felt like he was speaking to me. This is a man who was down in the dumps and he came back. Now everything he touches turns to gold. Yeah, because it's easy when you're ripping off everyone in MLMs. Chester went on, I feel like in Donald Trump's heart he wants to help people who are down and out. Chester said, if I thought he was just in it for the money, I wouldn't do it. Alex Izzo, another former sales representative or marketer of the Trump network, was quoted in the same article explaining her motivation for deciding to quit her job to become a marketer full time. Just let you sit with that for a minute. This woman had a well-paying job, probably decent job. It was at least a job, she was getting paid, and she quit it to become a marketer full-time. In other words, an MLMer full-time. Just because people have said, this is Donald Trump's network marketing company, I want in. I was talking to a woman the other day and she said, if I can't trust Donald Trump, who can I trust? And I said, you're totally right. And I said, boy, this brought me back to 2014. Like, people don't say that about Trump so much anymore, huh? So basically, after a little while, Trump University joined in. They also started to made like the Trump Institute, and they did a live seminar program, and it was all about selling Trump's secrets to success. Basically, the entire Trump University was all about how to make you a successful entrepreneur. And so that's what he did for a while. Like those coaching people that we love so much. Just love them all that come out here and teach us all how to run our businesses. It's like, thank you so much. Without you, what would I do with my life? So he did that, you know, he's running it, there he is. So then he decides to open up basically like one of those coaching companies, and this is another theme. Ooh, I need to make a new coffee here in a minute. This is another theme that you guys will see with people that, especially I find people that create the MLMs or that climb extremely high up in the MLMs, like they're part of that 1%. They like to go off and create their own MLM. Now, some of them go off and literally create a full-on MLM. For those that do not know, doTERRA was created by two people that climbed up Young Living essential oils. When they reached the top of the company, they actually stole a bunch of the information and then went off and created doTERRA. So doTERRA is actually just like a copy company of Young Living essential oils, which is why it's like so funny when they like argue over which one's better and stuff. I'm like, doTERRA, you stole everything from Young Living. So what do you mean? Anyway, you'll notice that they'll literally go create a whole new company, and if they don't create a whole new company, because they don't ever, you can't be in an MLM even at the top for like 20-30 years, okay? There's no there is a shelf life to this business. So you're lucky if you're at the top for like 5 or 10 years, okay? And then your time's running out. And it's a hard crash. It's a hard crash down. You know, I've been reading with me. People lose their house. People lose their life savings, their retirement funds, everything with these things. So if you get to the end, you've been doing this for like several years, you know, maybe you've made some profit, enough profit, obviously, that you've climbed up in the business quite a lot. You're kind of at the top. You kind of hit a wall. I mean, where else are you going to go? You can't climb up in that company anymore. And after a while, a lot of people actually get bored with it, or they kind of come to and they realize what they're doing. They're like, oh my god, I'm making money off the backs of other people, and I don't like it anymore, and they quit. And again, you'll see that all over YouTube. If you scroll YouTube and you look up why I quit, and you'll have why I quit Sensi, why I quit It Works, why I quit Young Living, why I quit doTERRA, why I quit every single MLM company out there, and you will hear stories from women that climbed up to the very top of their companies, and then you get more info. You realize, no, sweetie, yeah, we are doing a pyramid scheme with the product, so like, just shh. Now you're at the top, so like, you're the one making all the money, so like, who cares? Just show up to the conventions and like, tell everyone how great it is, and like, just keep going. Well, some people get a fucking hurt. A lot of people had that hurt. It got hidden with all the hunbottery and the manipulation tactics, and that's why I talk about those a lot. So I don't think people realize how badly people are manipulated to do the things that they do when they are in these companies. It is not them. You will talk to people that will say, my best friend from high school joined an MLM, and then she turned into a fucking robot, and I don't know where she went. And it's because that's not your friend from high school anymore. She is literally a hunbot now. Like, they literally take over you. Like, you have to make your whole life about this business and the friends in this business and the products and use them on everything in your life. And oh my god, Sensi was so annoying because they literally had a product for fucking everything. Like, everything. And you live and breathe these things, okay? You live and breathe them. So, you know, after a while, it's like, well, where else am I gonna go? You know, you can only sign up so many people. That's another point I want to make. You can only sign up so many people under you. So you hit a peak. Okay? And then what? Then there's only down. Or, what do? You go and you create a coaching company where you're going to teach everybody how to run a business like how you just ran your business and climbed up to the top of that MLM. And then that's why you guys now, especially over the past 5 years, have seen such an increase in these coaching companies. A lot of them, I'd say like 99.9%, same amount that people that don't make money in MLMs almost, are people that climbed up in an MLM company and got to the very top and had nowhere else to go, so now it's time to kind of like go make your own business. And a lot of the times, it's like I said, it's either they copy the business they were in and go make a new one with it, or it's legitimately a coaching business. They're like, I'm gonna go and create a business that's all about teaching everyone how to be successful like me. So I mean, Trump's just being a good robot here with the Trump Institute and University. And again, it was just a lot of false commercial success. So basically the same thing as with the products and the business opportunity, although this time it's at a university that he's telling everyone he's going to teach them his business practices, and he's lying to young people about how he'll teach them how to be an entrepreneur, and they're paying for all this crap, and he just keeps giving them like seminar stuff, and it's not really gonna do much. So make my way to wealth your way to wealth at this life-changing seminar. So I guess you gotta go get some casinos, fail at that, and then create an MLM pyramid scheme. Then you can be successful like Donald Trump. Like, I'm good. I'll do without that success, thanks. Like, look at this. How? Alright, hold on. We gotta go through this here. The seminar. Who should attend? Alright. What you will learn at this live event. How to get wealthy with real estate. How to build a business that will make you rich. Reservations. So he just handles all the objectives right there to convince you. And then how to find us. So he basically said that he would teach everyone about his real estate, because that was the other thing he did too, was like a little bit of real estate, and then these companies. So here it's the Trump Institute, the Donald Trump Way to Wealth Seminar. Yeah, guys, this document's like 164 pages, and we're at 120. And I've been streaming for over 3 hours, so we're probably not going to get through the whole thing because it's impossible. So we're just going to go over a few more really important points, and then I'll stop being online today and leave the world alone, I promise. The Trump Institute, the Donald Trump Way to Wealth Seminar. This seminar will introduce you to Donald Trump's secret recipe for success, a combination of the right knowledge and the right mindset to create unlimited riches. As you'll discover, there are two great ways to create wealth: owning a business and investing in real estate. Donald Trump is a master of both, and his strategies for both have been packed into the seminar. You can have all this priceless knowledge and much, much more, but you must be willing to take action. Now, this has been a pretty chill stream, though. I should just, like, jump on and do a troll stream and, like, tire out all my haters for, like, 3 hours before I, like, come on and do my normal stream every time, and then they all go to bed. They're like, I'm tired. I stayed up until 3 o'clock trying to argue with Queen of Spade on a fucking live stream. I'm tired. And then I can actually get real work done. Good stuff. What you have in your hands right now is my personal invitation for you and your guests to attend a special event. And that's the thing. They make you feel so special. Trump wants you. He wants to teach you everything he knows. Do you feel special yet? all of this. Trump. Now this is important, guys, okay? Trump had no actual involvement in the creation of course materials. No matter how much people paid to attend the seminars, they would never actually be able to learn what Trump had to teach because he never spent any time reviewing the course materials or drafting the contents. In fact, large portions of the materials sold as part of the Trump Institute seminars were plagiarized from another source. So this is from the book published first. Wow. So it says, at least 20 pages of the Trump Institute instructional book were copied entirely or in large part from a book in a set titled Real Estate Mastery System. Jesus, Trump. You can't even write your own book. You're supposed to be an author. Tell people you're going to give them advice on how to run a business. You can't even do it. It's not even your advice. You never wrote any of it. All these people are paying to come get this dude's advice. It's not even his advice. Jesus Christ. So, considering the following example. Oh my God, it is word for word. Oh my goodness. Look at that, guys. Plagiarism. Wow. So he plagiarized a lot of it. Didn't look at any of the course stuff. Didn't have anything to do with making the course. But apparently, he's the American Dream supersized version. And it's his roadmap to success. So, okay, Donnie. Go off. Like, but it's right off his rocker with this. Like, what is he thinking? How Trump does it. He doesn't even know how he does it. So, this is great. In 2016, the New York Times reported that Susan G. Parker, the editor of the Trump Institute Manual. So, Susan G. Parker was the editor of the Trump Institute Manual. Okay? And she says she was hired to write the manual after responding to a Craigslist ad. Motherfucker posted on Craigslist. Like, listen, I need somebody to write my guide to success manual for me. On Craigslist. Donald Trump did. On Craigslist. I'll just leave that with you. Just leave that with you. All I'm saying about that. And that she certainly never met Donald Trump. Never met him. Or received any guidance from him about what to write in the manual. So did she plagiarize it? Parker said that she wrote it based on her own personal knowledge about real estate and a cursory review of prior books that Trump had written, and also that book that you plagiarized up there too. Well, that's the thing, he's not even writing his own books. Yeah, he was being paid. If you are being paid to promote something, you by law have to tell people. In this kind of setting, even here on YouTube, if I'm being paid to promote something in one of my videos, I actually have to click a spot when I'm uploading my video or about to do my live stream or whatever, where I'm saying, hey, I'm getting paid for a promotion in this. Or like even a sponsorship or whatever, like I'm getting paid for this. Somebody's paying me for this. So
Yeah. You have to be honest about if you're getting paid or not. Alright, so yeah, they got, then he sold it, or he licensed it to Michael and Irene Millen. That's that Florida couple. And they had national grants, conferences, national grants. We'll get into that soon, yeah, don't worry. That was quite the place. Does that look familiar? Might look familiar too. So they got in trouble by the FTC and stuff. I don't really want to get into it right now because I do want to actually like cover it. But yeah. So here is on income claims. So the Millens effectively ran the Trump Institute after that. So in 2010, then Texas Attorney General Greg Abbott had compiled about 400 pages of documents and complaints that had been filed against Trump Institute and Trump University. Complaints that were submitted to the Texas Attorney General's office, and also filings from Better Business bureaus in the states of Florida and New York, where there were additional Trump Institute and Trump University offices. And they basically, the Trump Institutes and seminars and course material could cost participants tens of thousands of dollars in total fees. At the initial free seminars, for example, participants were prodded to purchase an additional 3-day conference, a wealth building weekend for $1,500. In its first full year of operation, it held 120 different seminars in 30 different cities across the country. Please help me. I was laid off work for the first time in my life and really need this money to support my family. $1,400 is so much money for my family. Mr. Trump, I am an 85-year-old woman living on a fixed, modest income. The monthly payment your organization has been deducting from my bank account is creating an ongoing hardship for me. Another complaint said that a guy was at the seminar and he said he was absolutely broke and his wife was about to leave him, and he found the Trump Institute and that saved his life. And they just all got taken. A California resident wrote to the Florida Attorney General's office in January of 2010 explaining that he had paid $12,000. $12,000. $12,000
for a real estate course over a year earlier and has since been unable to get a refund. I received nothing. Jesus Christ. It's just so sad. So, basically, this is what they're all gonna get charged with right now. So mail fraud, wire fraud, false and misleading statements, engaged in a scheme to defraud members, and members of the classes are entitled to an award of treble statutory punitive damages, attorney's fees, and expenses. Members of the classes are entitled to equitable relief, and if so, the nature of such relief. Oh my God. Defendants conduct injured members of the classes and whether those injuries, including monetary and out-of-pocket pecuniary losses, are compensable. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. It's so sad. Count one was racketeering. So guys, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the rest of this in the link. It's a lot to go through. I'm probably going to do, because I doubt anyone's going to watch this. But I'm probably going to do a little video on this little wrap up of everything and just go through it really quickly. I was just kind of killing time, kiddos stirring. I gotta go. Wanted to find out some more information about this, why everything's going on. Basically, he's in a lot of trouble for a lot of things, and he's brought his family down with him. You can kind of see it. Jesus Christ. So they have all the examples of all the times. Racketeering, blah, blah, blah. Lying, untrue and misleading public statements. So again, Donald Trump's just an asshole. What do you want me to say? He's a jerk for this. He's a jerk. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna save this all up. I'm gonna try and do like a smaller little video because I doubt people are gonna want to watch this 3.5 hour long crazy one. Some might, but probably not. So if you did watch all of this, thank you so much. I appreciate having you here listening to me read all of this crazy information. I hope that maybe answers some questions about what's going on with Trump, why MLMs are bad, or etc. Links are in the description down below. I have links to social media. I have links to all of the anti-MLM resources as well, so please do go check them out. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can always get a hold of myself or any of the people down in the links in the description. I have several other advocates also listed under there. Maybe you don't like me for some reason, so you want to talk to someone else, and that's totally fine. So there's a bunch of them listed down there. And no matter where you are or what you're doing, I hope you all have a fabulous, fabulous day. I might pop on later because I am really trying to figure this all out for us to be able to do a decent stream tomorrow night. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. And I will see you in the next one, no matter where you are, what you're doing. Have a fabulous, fabulous day. Take care. Goodbye. And I don't know how to turn this off other than showing you all this screen and then being like, peace out, homies. So, peace out.